Okay. Here we go. On a Wednesday evening. It is another episode of Outlaw Radio. I am Kevin Barnes. I am the host of Outlaw Radio, militant with a microphone, the mouthpiece of the movement, aka the Negro Whisperer. How y'all doing out there this evening, man? It is another hot day in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I know a lot of people. You think of Milwaukee or you think of Wisconsin, you think of snow, you think of ice, you don't think of heat, right? A heat wave, but we are in the middle of what was explained before this happened to be a heat wave. So it's hot as fish grease outside. Get you some water, stay out that sun if you can. If you work outside, make sure you go through the necessary precautions. But welcome to Outlaw Radio, a show aptly named Heat tonight, just because there's a lot going on. This is what we do on Mondays and Wednesdays. This is a foundational Black American platform, meaning simply, to me at least, that this is a show that speaks to the topics that are important to foundational Black Americans. And I know that the FBA thing right now is hot in the news. It's a lot of controversy behind it, especially now since this week we've had some movement on um, the 14th Amendment and birthright citizenship. We'll talk about all that tonight as we move along. I talked to the fact checker earlier. He said he'll be along around 8:30. I guess he gets tied up. He's an entrepreneur. So, these things happen. For everybody else, the phone number is 262-202-5131. 262-202-5131. There's a chat room so you can be involved in the conversation in a multitude of ways. But I would just like to shout out to the city, 414. It's been a pretty cool summer so far. We've had some violence, but I've seen it much worse. And I would encourage everybody to just keep on, standing their ground and doing what they need to do to keep themselves free of drama and bullshit. But other than that, it's a lot going on, man. It's like I said, we in the middle of a crazy season. We got ice bugging out in our city. Um, ICE is in the city of Milwaukee and they are playing by their own rules. Okay. The mayor has said he's upset because there's an ordinance that they were not supposed to operate with face coverings on, and they're still wearing their masks. There's also some ordinances that say they can't use county property to set up or city property, and they've been setting up in the parking lots of police stations and all kinds of places. The Mitchell Park Domes, which is county property. So ICE is in the city, man. So my guess is that they are apprehending individuals who are supposed to be illegal immigrants, primarily on the South Side where this has been happening. I've been told by a multitude of people that as a Black person, you shouldn't be too comfortable because they'll be coming to get you next. So hope that's not the case. I definitely hope that's not the case. But there's a lot of action with ICE. I've watched several videos where they're apprehending people Gestapo style, surrounding the car, snatching them out the car, um, you know, taking them and locking them up, whatever. And I still don't fully understand, outside of illegal immigration, what is ICE's purpose, right? Like, I always thought we had immigration services to go out and round up illegal immigrants. ICE is this kind of Trumpian MAGA thing that has come along. So we're seeing how they operate, particularly in our city. Mama Jenkins, how you doing? She said, "Good evening, my outlaw family. Just staying cool and out the way." Best way to be is, I was just outside. The heat index is up. It's a heat warning in effect, y'all. Be cool. Be cool if you're gonna be outside. Brendan Hayes, what it do, my brother? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? He says, "Peace, peace to you, man. Peace to you." But so we'll talk about this whole thing with the 14th Amendment, right? And so early on, I think it was Trump's second day in office, he came out with one of his executive orders, and it was to get rid of the 14th Amendment, which supposedly had been created to protect the babies of slaves. Okay, to make sure that any child that a slave had in this country while they were in this country, they would be citizens. So Trump came with or executive order that said, "Now we're gonna get rid of that. No more 14th Amendment. Just because you're born here, don't mean you're a citizen." Um, so this was his executive order, which was shot down. Okay, so we'll talk about the 14th Amendment, and I don't want anybody to try to switch this around talking about well, that was for slaves, that was for y'all. I am no longer a slave, right? My family was not slaves. Now, I am a couple generations removed from slavery. I'm a descendant of those people. But this 14th Amendment now is not about us. Like they continue to try to involve black people in the bullshit that goes on in this country. You want to make us a bad guy. Either way it goes, you got other, you got Haitians, you got other black immigrants or people, melanated people mad at foundational black Americans stating, you guys not saying anything, you guys don't care, you guys support this. I don't support the 14th Amendment. I don't support anything that's supposed to be that has a reference to slavery in terms of okay, since I was born and I'm the child of a slave, I'm an American citizen. I'm an American citizen because for generations my family has been in the United States of America. And they've been citizens. So, I'd like to know how y'all feel about this 14th Amendment and this birthright citizenship thing. People have what they call anchor babies. So you have immigrants who come here and had children, and so their children, since they were born here, they were American citizens automatically. Well, Trump wanted to get rid of that to say, "No, I don't care how many kids you had. If you're illegal, and you got to go." So let me know how y'all feel about that in the chat room or hit the line. Um, Ernest Walker said, "ICE gonna get me. ICE gonna get me for what? Right? I'm not illegal, so I don't know how they gonna get me." Um, Mama Jenkins said, "When are you coming by?" And he took a ride on his new plane. Um, oh, I forgot to pick up my Mama Jenkins was kind enough to bring me some stuff from Mississippi, so I'm gonna have to go by there and pick it up. Mama Jenkins, I just just been just in staying out the heat, so we'll coordinate it so I can pick that up. But I'm so appreciative of you thinking of your boy while you were in the South and grabbing me something that's gonna make me think about my childhood days that I spent in Mississippi. So shout out to you, Brendan. I did hear about India Irie. I'm gonna definitely get into that. He said Roland Martin been talking spicy. Roland Martin he's had an issue with the whole foundational Black American thing for a while, and I can't help but wonder if this is something that because he has issues with Tariq Nasheed, or is he really just on the heels of people who identify as foundational Black Americans? You would think that would be something he would be cool with, but he's not. By him and he's all about voting, and he's a Democrat, so you think that this would be something that he would get in line with us in terms of identifying as Black Americans, but he does not. So yeah, Roland Martin, and I've even heard somebody say that Roland Martin, there's some people who say he's actually of Haitian descent, which would make sense because I know a lot of the noise being kicked up right now because this is coming, and we talked about this on Monday. This is coming on the heels of Haitians losing their TPS, their temporary protection status. So I guess I don't know if this opens up the way for them to be deported, but they were being given refuge in the United States because of the state of Haiti, because Haiti has so many issues. And I guess that they don't qualify. I don't know if they've rectified some of these situations, but they don't qualify for a nation that can get that anymore. So Haitians have been very vocal about a lot of things lately. So I don't know if that's something that Roland Martin is holding in his craw, but he's one of many who think, FBAs. And ever since this whole delineation thing has started, there has been a number of people who have an issue with it. Talk about that shit tonight on Outlaw Radio. Y'all can hit the line. Let me see. Sharita Shaw, how you doing, Sharita? She said, good evening, Outlaw family and friends. How you doing? Happy birthday. I know you had a birthday recently. Hope it was a good one. Hope you had a good time. Mama Jenkins says she can drop it off. She'll be out in the morning. Yes, we will communicate in the morning because I will be here. And Sharita saying that's because Roland has Haiti. I think she means Haitian lineage. That's what I just said. I heard that. I don't know. I've never heard him confirm that, but I've heard that from some people on YouTube saying he has, some Haitian lineage. But okay, so with Haiti losing their TPS status, that doesn't have anything to do with foundational Black Americans. As far as the 14th Amendment goes, you can't really even link us to that. I think the onus is a lot of black people feel like immigrants today come into this country and they get a lot of special privileges. They get a lot of leeway. They can come into our community and start businesses, and almost all of them, and we've seen this in the last month with the Asian guy out in North Carolina, they all are very disrespectful to black people, right? Like, I guess they look at white people and say, well, if they can do it, I can do it. But they're all very disrespectful to black people. So you got a lot of black people who feel like, hey, go ahead and get up out of here, right? I don't share that sentiment. I think everybody should. Well, let me restate that. If you are disrespectful to us in our communities, I do share that sentiment. Let me restate that. But I don't think that America should be closed off to other places, because I think we look at countries around the world and places where it's very hard to live. And so America is always supposed to have been this place where you could come and, get access to a better life, a better opportunity. And all of a sudden now I think we're kind of reneging on that to say, well, no, we don't want you here, right? Especially if you come illegally. And the fact of the matter is people have always come here illegally, right? And over the years, the immigration rules have had to change. It's a necessity. They've had to change as America has kind of moved towards its modernized version of itself. But I do think that we need to call ICE off, call off the dogs. I don't like, if we're going to get rid of illegal immigrants, fine, that's cool. But we don't need ICE to do it. I just feel like ICE is not what you do, is how you do it. And I feel like ICE just violates people's rights. There's no real, because we don't really even know what ICE is doing, to tell you the truth. I don't. If you understand what ICE's process is, please hit my line and let me know. Because I love to have the understanding. I wish I knew it all, but I don't. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an immigration specialist. And I would love to know, what is the process? What is the purpose? What is ICE's? Are they supposed to be keeping us safe? Right? Like, is this, because I don't feel safe. I feel like they may be a threat against me and mine, in my community. We're just waiting on MAGA to come up with some reason to come at us, to come at black people. And then we'll watch this shit really come apart at the seams. Let me see. Dion said he's in the chat room. What up, Dion? How you doing? Brendan said did I see the Gucci video? I did not see, I didn't watch it. I seen it online. I scrolled past it. I didn't see a reason for me to watch it. I really didn't. I didn't see a reason for me to watch it. I don't know. I don't really care. I guess that's the whole thing. I don't really care about Gucci Mane or Pooh Shiesty, or I care less and less about rappers nowadays for some reason. Brendan Hayes said he called the FBA white supremacy. Yeah, I'm like, I guess I'm short-sighted on this. I'm confused. I'm misinformed, because I looked at it like, yo, we for so long have allowed people to call us what they want to call us, to define us however they wanted to define us. And we had never been proactive in saying, no, this is who we actually are. All of a sudden we get this delineation movement. And I've long stated that in terms of what an American is, black people are the only cultural group that was really created via slavery by the United States of America. I mean, even the slave masters and slave owners were immigrants, right? Like, most white people who you talk to are immigrants, right? And I don't know if they're all legal, but we start to talk about Ellis Island and, all these, and they, but even they self-identify. Hey, I'm Polish, I'm Italian, I'm German, I'm Jewish, I'm whatever. And it just seems like as soon as black people said, hey, we need to identify ourselves, and we said we're black Americans, but we're foundational black Americans, meaning we helped establish this country on the foundation of this country. Man, the whole world blew up. Everybody was upset. Everybody's picked and chosen a side in this, and it turns out to be divisive at the end of the day. So I don't know. Maybe I'm missing the bus. Maybe I'm missing the point. But I'm going to continue to honor and respect my forefathers and my ancestors who paved the way for myself in this country, and made so many sacrifices for simple shit, just stuff like voting, just to be able to walk down the street peacefully and not be harassed by white people. And it still happens, by the way. But we got people in our throughout our history in our families who fought for basic rights. And I think they deserve recognition. I think they deserve respect. I think that they should be honored and cherished. And I think we should say, hey, because they fought for these rights and we were able to acquire some of them minimally, I guess, it at least establishes us as Americans. There's nowhere for you to send us. Okay, you can't send me back to Africa because, first of all, because of you, I don't really know where my people are from in Africa, nor do I desire to go back to Africa after we have laid the groundwork for this country. Okay, so I'm an American. I know a lot of black people don't like to hear that. I am American. I have westernized ways. I've adapted to American culture. Some would say I've assimilated or I've been indoctrinated. All of that might be true, but I am American. In terms of the amount of taxes that we pay, how we keep the economy going in this country, nobody should be disrespecting us and nobody should be denying us the right to call ourselves whatever we want to call ourselves. If your ass can say you're Puerto Rican or Haitian or Jamaican or Dominican or whatever you are, why can't I say I'm a foundational black American? It makes absolutely positively no sense to me. And I don't see how that's connected to white supremacy. I do not see how that's connected to white supremacy. So if that's how you feel, please call the show 262-202-5131. Let's talk about it on a Wednesday evening. Telly Nellum in the chat room. What up, Tell? He said, what up, famo? What's happening, man? Known Telly for a very long time. Grew up with him. Same Rufus King area neighborhood. One of my partners, man. Went to middle school and elementary school with Telly. What's up, Tells? How you doing, man? Hope everybody's doing well in your family. Now, Brendan had asked me earlier in the comment section about India Irie. And if you don't know who India Irie is a singer. I would call her a neo soul singer. I feel like India Irie is one of those eclectic artists who has always kind of reveled in the fact that she's, spiritual on a certain level, I guess. She's one of those, like some people will say hoteps. I don't know. Am I allowed to say hoteps? Can we still say that? She's a naturalist. She believes, and by her own words, she talked about she loves crystals and stuff like that. So she is the latest artist to come out and critique Young Miami. And this song Spin That continues. And I don't know if people understand this. All publicity is good publicity, especially for music, because a lot of people wouldn't even know about this song if it wasn't receiving the kind of press that it's receiving. Okay. I see you, Sharita. I see you in the chat room. She says, right, we've been paying taxes at the beginning of time. Then get mad when we call ourselves FBAs. They are throwing fits. Yes. They are, people are very upset about that. But India Irie, okay, so India Irie and a bunch of other people are critical of Young Miami for her song Spin That, because there's some language in there in which I guess she shouts out boosters and scammers. Okay. And there are a lot of people who are upset about that, saying this message is not good. It celebrates negativity. And that encourages some of us to get involved in some behaviors that are counterproductive. I feel like music is music, and I feel like that this is not obviously directed at I believe it's directed at a certain group of people. I believe it's directed at people who are living in the streets, who are trying to, survive in that life, which is, we know, just a dog eat dog world. I don't encourage anybody to go out and become a booster or a scammer. But the reality of it is there are a lot of people living this lifestyle. Okay. They didn't need Young Miami to tell them about it. Is she celebrating it by saying, go ahead and steal, go ahead and boost, go ahead and scam, and then go buy you some fly shit, right? Spend that money on something. What do people who live a criminal lifestyle tend to do with the money they earn? They usually spend it, right? Drug dealers buy jewelry and cars and, a lot of material things. Very seldom do they invest it. Would it have been better if she'd have said invest that shit? Like I don't I don't know. Some people would even say India Irie needs to stay in her lane, right? Like you're a musician, um, stay in your lane, do what you do, focus on getting you some hits. Obviously, Young Miami has a hit, right? But I've been listening to rap music. I've been listening to hip hop. The one thing hip hop did a long time ago is it injected music with the spirit of realism. Like we say, keep it real. And I think that was the appeal for hip hop a long time ago for us as young people because everything was so whitewashed and watered down. Everything was always just kind of like, television, movies, the media, everything was it didn't reflect what we saw as reality and as the reality of our existence in our community. So a lot of times hip hop's honesty was welcome. Like, I mean, for a long time, one of the most popular songs that we listened to back in the days was Dope Man by NWA. Now, this song introduced a lot of people to the concept of being a drug dealer who didn't know, myself included. I was a very young kid. I was probably about 12 years old, and I didn't know a whole lot about what a dope man was. I knew I was looking around, the crack epidemic had jumped off the porch and was decimating our city. But I didn't really know what the lifestyle of a dope man was. Now, it informed me, but it didn't encourage me. It didn't encourage me to say, you know what, I want to do that. I want to become that. As a matter of fact, the picture that it painted, it made me kind of say, I don't want to do that. So I don't know. Maybe this song, because it doesn't tell you the negative parts of being a booster or a scammer. This is why so many people are against it because they make it seem like I guess it's glorified. Sharita says, I'm not gonna lie. I like that song. I like that song and it's catchy to me. The beat is catchy. I mean, it's a creative song, but I wouldn't give her necessarily an A+ for lyrics. You know, she didn't she didn't she didn't blow the roof off with her lyrical prowess, right? But the message was conveyed. She talks on there about how she likes thugs, she likes gangsters, she likes D-boys, and there's a lot of women that love that. So I don't know if people are being hypocritical or just they're in denial about how much do you actually support the lifestyle, as we say, of a criminal? And how many of us got scammers and boosters in our family? Sarita says India Irie need to go somewhere. Telly said it depends on where your head is at. Yeah, I mean, if you first of all, if you are in a position where your life is dictated by stuff you see on TV or hear on the radio, like you wait to hear or see something before you take action, before you start to say, okay, what are my career aspirations? What do I want to do with my life? Let me go and listen to some rap music. Let me listen to V100 to see what the rappers are talking about. You have a much bigger issue than Young Miami. Okay. If you are so easily influenced by what you see on television, you have a bigger issue. Now, I will say this to parents: this is a teaching moment, and I've told this story a million times, but I'll tell it a million. This will be a million one. I left. I remember I left. And back in the days, I just was gone. I was a Ghetto Boy fan. Like I loved NWA, but once I heard Ghetto Boys, I said, nah, this is what I'm listening to. So I loved Ghetto Boys. So anytime my father say, go park my car or put my car in the garage, and I got a chance to drive, I'm gonna take my Ghetto Boy cassette and I'm gonna pop it in and I'm gonna drive and I'm gonna listen to it. And I left it in the deck one time. I believe it was the album We Can't Be Stopped. And if you ever heard that album, Jay Prince starts that album off with an intro saying, in 1988, we knocked on the door. In 1989, we beat on the door. Now it's 1991. We finna kick this motherfucker in. And so my pops heard these lyrics. He listened to it. He listened to about 3 songs. And he didn't really go ballistic on me. My father at this time was a preacher, an ordained minister. And he said, listen, I want to tell you something. And we had a long discussion of how that was fake, that the lifestyle that they were talking about had real life consequences. And that if I tried to imitate them or emulate them, it would bring me a lot of problems in my own life. And I understood it. So parents, talk to your kids. when you hear what they're listening to, or you sitting there and you see something, you say, hey, you got to know, you got to understand what they're talking about on there. You got to understand what this person is actually saying to you. I think that is the biggest part of it, that somebody like, and I don't know if India Irie has children. I don't know if she has nieces, nephews. I don't know how much mentorship she does. I don't really know a whole lot about. I don't know if she's had a really big song since Video Girl, which was a long time ago, which spoke out against the during the video vixen era, in which young ladies is shaking it, making it pop and twerk and all this for the videos, and and it was a dope song. I thought Video Girl was a dope song. She talked about the importance of young women loving themselves. It's a positive message, and it was felt. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of young ladies who right now would say, "Oh, I remember that song. It inspired me. It made me feel good because I didn't necessarily fit the aesthetic, or I didn't feel like I was comfortable, showing or expressing myself in that manner to get noticed." So, I won't tell India Irie to go ahead about her business, Sarita, but I will say she need to leave Young Miami alone. I think what she should do is she should go back and focus her music and make a counter to it. If you feel that strongly in music and you have a musical platform, go make some really powerful, positive music and put it out. That's the best way to do it, because as long as you talk about it, you give it more light. She said I'm biased because I had a booster years ago. Okay, that's what I'm saying. I think a lot of people relate to the song because they've gotten something through a booster or a scammer before that made it more affordable for them. So I think a lot of people say, nah, man, leave them alone. Let them do their thing, because they're going to go to prison. They're going to face the consequences for whatever it is they're doing. Ewok says, right, I still don't know why they called a strawberry the neighborhood hoe. That interpretation didn't last long. Well, there's a whole bunch of stuff in there, Ernest. Like, we, over the years, if you've been listening to hip hop, if you've been in the hip hop culture over the years, there's been a lot of neighborhood things that have been discussed on record that a lot of people didn't know about, right? And they say, "Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I never heard that before." Some sort of slang that means something like, I came up in a couple different eras of hip hop, but specifically the weed era of hip hop. Now, after the Chronic came out, I tell people there's always a marked difference in hip hop before the Chronic came out and after the Chronic came out, because you had people before that who smoked weed, you had people who drank, but after the Chronic came out, I think more young hip hop fans indulged in marijuana. I will say that had a big influence on a lot of people smoking marijuana. Now, whether it functioned as a gateway drug for them, or it led to some motivational stuff where they ended up dropping out of school, or becoming a pothead and not really doing anything in life, I don't know. For some of us, it took us off the streets. For some of us, smoking weed might have saved a few lives. It might have calmed somebody down to the point where they didn't bust nobody's head. So, but I remember that era, and I remembered how before that, there was still a lot of positivity in rap, and people kind of frowned at you for the thugging and for the weed smoking and the drinking. And after the Chronic came out, and then when Tupac came with the tattoo that said Thug Life, everything was different. Everybody was smoking, everybody was a thug. Now, I didn't have any clue that one day all rappers would be gangster rappers, right? Now every rapper is a thug. Every rapper is a gangster. Every rapper is a D-boy. And that just wasn't the case back then. But so we know music has its influences, but I don't think this Young Miami song will have the same impact. Now, we'll see statistically if we can show that since she made this song, the arrests of young black people has risen dramatically or drastically because of as far as boosting and scamming goes. Then we have an issue. Then we have to go to Young Miami and say, look, you fucked up, right? But I don't know. Sharita Shaw says she ended up going to jail, though. Who we talking about going to jail, Sharita? Taylor, you're right. Music has its own lanes, right? And some of this comes down to If you got kids that are that young and impressionable, why aren't you policing what they listen to? The story I just told you about my dad, that happened. I was at least 17 years old. I was 16, 17 years old. So I wasn't a little kid, right? And he still had that talk with me. But my dad was that type of dude. We when we would watch a movie where there was a lot of violence, he'd talk about, that's so fake. That's not real life. I don't want you to think. As long as he understood that I understood that this ain't real. This is not reality. This can't be you. This ain't your life. That ain't where you at. And I understood it. So he would be cool with it and be like, I ain't tripping off what you listen to because I know you're smart enough to recognize the difference between the two. Now I will say this on the flip side, when he heard something positive that I was listening to, or if he seen something positive that I was watching, he thought he made sure he let me know that he thought that was cool. I remember the first time I was watching House Party and I was sitting there cracking up watching House Party, and my dad was kind of just watching in the background. And he said, "You know what? This is a cool movie." Like he felt Kid and plays characters because he said, "Them guys ain't thugs, they ain't hoodlums, they ain't stealing, they ain't robbing. They just want to have a good time. They just want to go to a party, and they trying to avoid getting in trouble, not getting sweated by bullies and cops." So he recognized that. And I remember one time him riding with me in my own car, and I was listening to Outkast. And this is why I always will love Southern Playalistic so much as an album. There's a part on there, and is a poem by Big Rube, who is a poet who was on the album. And he's just talking about, different things, biological warfare, disease engineering, mind control, all this kind of stuff. Right on to the Real, I think it was called. I can't remember the name of it, and it was right before the song Crumbling Herb, and just the whole thing played out. And my father said, "Yeah, that's cool right there." So that guy was really talking some real stuff. Play that again for me. I remember driving, looking over at him saying, "What?" And he's like, "Yo, play that again. That was nice. I like that." And so you got to be able to do that with your children, man. Point them to positive things. Give them something to do with their time. Figure out what it is that they like to do and help them indulge in that. And then you won't have to worry about Young Miami raising your kids, right? Like, so, Sharita said that song ain't going to live long. Well, it's music. It's disposable art. It'll be gone. It'll be gone pretty soon. She said the booster went to jail. Oh, okay. Your booster went to jail. Normally that's what happens. Telly Nellum said from Ghetto Boys, Bald Head Hoes to X Clan. Yeah, I mean, I bumped a lot of X Clan. A lot of BDP, a lot of Public Enemy, Poor Righteous Teachers, a lot of that stuff. I mean, but that was during a time when hip hop was really diverse, and you could get a bunch of different lanes. Everybody wasn't a thug. Everybody wasn't a gangster. Even though the NWA era brought in a lot of gangster rappers or wannabe gangster rappers, and it kind of changed the complexion of what it looked like, because now profanity and real like heavy conversation topics became more of what people wanted to hear. But it's just like gangster movies, right? Like every movie can't be a romance. Every movie can't be a rom-com. Every movie can't be a comedy. Some movies are action movies. Some movies are gangster movies. Some movies are hood movies. Like there's a variation to everything. And they say variety is the spice of life. But it's one of those things where anytime we get involved with something, and meaning us as Black people, here comes the criticism, right? So, Sharita says she introduced her dad to Biggie's Juicy song. He used to bob his head when we used to play it. He was probably enjoying the original music of Mtume, because if your father was of a certain age, he knew that Mtume are the original performers of Juicy Fruit, which is one of the greatest R&B songs we've ever heard. And that's what Puffy used to make Juicy. That's the beat behind that. That's Mtume. So he probably could just hear that beat, hear that music in his head, and remember how sweet that song was. I still love the song Juicy by Mtume. Rest in peace, Mtume just passed. But Mtume was a wonderful artist, just a very creative artist. And it was made at a time when R&B could be suggestive without and use innuendo without being explicit, right? Like you could hear singers talk about making love and all this kind of stuff. And it wasn't like now where you no no punches are pulled. No punches are pulled now. So it's a different time. It's a different day. It's a different age. Um, I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think about do you agree with India Irie or do you agree with Young Miami? Or do you just think people just need to leave people alone and let them do what they do, right? Ace Cooley in the building. I see you in the chat room. He said, "What up, man? I'm in the building. What's happening, Ace? I see my whole Outlaw family's here. I didn't see all y'all on Monday. I was a little worried, like, I done got shook by my fam, but I see all of y'all in the building tonight. So we should have a pretty good conversation. Ace, we were just talking about India Irie's criticism of Young Miami, and I spoke about how people were coming out against this song, Spin That. And, this is one of them things where the free publicity is free publicity. But then again, the main idea here is how negative of an impact is this song having right now? And we seen that the lady in Washington and her daughter decided to do the TikTok video. And they had the song playing and they had them some designer bags and the police came and got their ass because they had just stolen them. So, you reap what you sow. It's consequences. I think that's the most important thing people need to understand. Most scamming crimes are blue collar crimes, but they're federal crimes. Boosting is a straight criminal. You go into the state pen, right? And people do time behind retail theft. Now we look at what we have going on in our community with places like Walgreens and other places packing up, leaving our community, Walmart, and they're saying, hey, due to the fact that it's too much theft, the boosters are killing us. Or when I go in Walgreens now to get some deodorant and it's locked up, and I got to get somebody to come unlock a cabinet to get some deodorant or some washing detergent or something like that. That's a direct response to boosters. So how much do you really support boosters, right? Like, we can't have it the same way. I think a lot of times with Black people, like we talk about how bad the crack epidemic was in our community, but then we love to watch these movies about crack dealers or about the old legendary crack dealers who are now folk heroes who put tons and tons of drugs. Well, they helped put it into the community via the United States government, but we'll still watch it and we'll still celebrate it. But dudes who sell a lot of dope in the hood and then go to jail and come home are held in high regard. Like, dude used to be a baller, man. They was rich, man. Like, he's known forever. He's way more famous and he's acknowledged way more than the dude who just went to the university and came home and with a master's degree or a doctorate. Like, we don't. So a lot of times we want it both ways. We want to say, yeah, he a real nigga because he got a pistol and he'll shoot it. But then we don't want homicide. We speak against homicide and crime and violence in the community. Sometimes we want it both ways and you can't have it that way. Sharita Shaw said, leave people the fuck alone. Okay. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about that. Hit that line 262-202-5131. I did a show a long time ago called The Culture of Dysfunction. And what that was about was because at the time people would just really start using the word culture, do it for the culture. We started associating hip hop and Black culture, the culture. And I said, well, the only culture we have is the culture of dysfunction because that's what we celebrate. This is what we look up to a lot of anti-heroes because we don't have a lot. And because a lot of times the system is so cruel to us as people, we look up to people who defy the system and who buck the system and say, yo, that person is a hero because they didn't accept the L's that this system naturally places upon you. Let me see. Ace Cooley, the difference is at those times we didn't have a lot of employment. In today's age, I think these youngsters just like the lifestyle. Well, I think our youngsters nowadays are more into imagery than anything else. So it's about how things look, right? Like you got kids who like t-shirts that cost $200 because they have a certain logo or something printed on them. And it's just about how it looks. And probably a lot of times it's not even a real quality. It's not really made. It's not high quality. You wash it once, it shrinks up, it fades, it peels. But I think people are so into images now. That's what social media has done as well, is It presents images. People are wanting how I look, how you look. If I got this designer on me and I'm in the picture, people say, "Oh man, he was clean." Or you see people put in the comments, "Yo, that's a dope belt," or "Where you get them shoes from?" Or "Oh, I see you with the buffs on." And it's like people are just and they're willing to pay a king's ransom a lot of times for things that cost more money. It's that old question of quality over value or value and quality. Just because something costs a lot doesn't mean it's valuable. And just because something costs a lot doesn't mean it's high quality. But people assume that if I pay a lot for it, it must be high quality. And a lot of people get disappointed when they buy something that's expensive and it's still just as cheap as the other shit. So Sharita said, I'm not gonna lie, if boosters walk up to me with $100 full of toiletries for $30, I'm buying all that shit. She said, spend that shit. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's the mentality right there, right? Like, so this is why a lot of people relate to this song. I mean, I pulled up at the gas pump before, and there's been a dude out there. He said, "Yo, man, don't go in there and pay cash for your gas. Give me $20. I'll fill your car up." So, word? Yeah. Boom. Here go the dub. Fill my tank up. I participated in the bullshit. So that's what I'm saying. I think people relate to it. It's just like if a booster comes through, like Sarita just said, and they got a bag and they got soap and all of this stuff that kind of those costs pile up if you got a family. Toiletries, deodorant, soap, toothpaste, all the stuff in the bags. They can give me $10. You give it to them and say, "Shit, I'm good on this for a while." So I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one. Y'all let me know. I don't want to be the only one on here admitting that I done got some gas from a gas scammer before. I hope I'm not the only one. But I definitely relate to the life, the other side of doing things, right? Like people feel like, well, I'm taking a shortcut. But at the end of the day, is it a shortcut? Because if a lot of this stuff, if you get caught with it and you get caught with stolen goods, you get charged for that. Right. And so all of it can really have a negative effect. But I'm not mad at Young Miami. Get your money, young sister. Get your money. Right. Like I said, there's some more messages being conveyed through music right now that I'm still like, I see a lot of imagery where I'm like, man, come on. A says, I'm not knocking nobody hustle. That store that sold only paid penny. That's the store that sold it only paid pennies on the dollar. That's right. That's right, Ace. That's right. Like, it's not like retailers in America ain't crooks themselves. Buying something for 25 cents, selling it for $3. Getting it from a sweatshop. We talk about Nike getting shoes made for $3 and selling them for $300. Again, they made in sweatshops in Asia. Tell said it's all about getting a deal. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. People want to save money. Yeah, I got some Gucci and I didn't have to pay Gucci money for it. You feel like you got over. You feel like, man, that's what's up. Like, and you feel like Gucci got enough money, it ain't gonna hurt their bottom line, but it does hurt their bottom line. But do we care? I don't care about Gucci. I don't care about Gucci. So, we also had discussed birthright citizenship earlier in the show, and we're talking about the Supreme Court turning away Donald Trump's executive order that would have taken the 14th Amendment away, saying there will be no birthright citizenship. Well, the Supreme Court is saying there will be birthright citizenship. So even if your parents were illegal, or people are over here that are not of American origin and they have a baby, that baby is American, and they can stay. I think that they can stay if they have a child that is an American citizen. But a lot of the executive orders that Trump put out have been just shot down by the Supreme Court. I don't know if a lot of people, we don't give that enough press, that a lot of the stuff he was trying to do when he came in, his executive orders have been denied by the Supreme Court. Now, there has been some stuff where the Supreme Court ruled in favor of him. But like I said early on, when people were so worried about Trump and his executive orders, I'm like, it's going to be up to the judges It's going to be up to the people to say no. We're not going to let this. We're not going to let this go. So I just think right now, shout out to the judges that are saying, Trump, we're not going to let you just do whatever it is that you want to do, because and the last 3 or 4 months for Trump, is it just me or has he just suffered some setbacks? Seems like things haven't been going his way for the last few months, whether it be people and backlash and stuff like that, or his executive orders being dropped, like fought by the Supreme Court. I think it's been pretty rough for him over the last few months, and deservedly so, because I think Trump is a horrible president, and I think most of his policies have nothing to do with America moving forward. They're all self-serving, egomaniacal policies, like let's have a UFC fight on the grass. Let's build a ballroom. Why are we building a ballroom in 2026? Not a club, not a disco, a ballroom. Why are we building a ballroom? So stupid. It's so stupid. Let me see. Ace is saying, I'm pissed about this because it's going to hurt us in so many ways. Please elaborate, Ace. How's it going to hurt us? Sharita said, is the 14th Amendment for anchor babies? Well, basically, that's what people have started to call those children of illegal immigrants, anchor babies, because it can keep them in the United States if they have a child who was born here. Ace says, no, it was not meant for us. Well, it was supposedly established for the children of slaves, Ace. Right? No? Yes? Wrong? Hit me up. Let me know, Ace. You know the number. Sharita said ICE just picked up 39 people today. Doesn't surprise me. They're in Milwaukee making moves. They're in Milwaukee making moves, y'all. I seen where ICE had grabbed a nun and taken her into custody. They had to let her go, but I was like, damn. Who's over ICE? Who's administrating this? Who's making the rules for these cats? Like they're just doing what they want to do. But Ace, hit the line, man, because I definitely like to hear your take on this 14th Amendment. Anybody for that matter. Because I just look at it like, because everything is being dumped on the backs of FBAs, right? Like, so everybody's constantly asking us what we like, trying to implicate us in some form or fashion on what's going on with the 14th Amendment. Now, Ace, I had some problems with my phone the other day, so hopefully I think I did the right updates. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear Ace. What's on your mind, bro?
What's up, man? What's cracking? No, it's gonna hurt us, man. And you're right, it was meant that. I just, my fat thumbs can't be typing in my phone. My dumb smartphone be autocorrecting everything. No, it's gonna hurt us because at the end of the day, man, you know who after all of this, basically these corporations, number one, they bringing these people in so they can get rid of you. And I don't know, those people that are making $80, $90, $100, $150,000 a year, they want to get, they don't like paying those high ass wages. They need some new stooges. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna get them to work for, $20 an hour. You see what I'm saying? So that's just one aspect of it. Not only that, what's going on? I think I mentioned this before. As I said, the Mexicans are coming in from Mexico. They doing this. They come in. They get the SNAP benefits. They buying up $60 worth of carne meat. And remember this. Them SNAP benefits, that's paid for our dollar. You know what I'm saying? They're taking that money and buying that carne meat, and they're making $2,000 to $3,000 a day untaxed because they're invisible. The government can't see them, and that's just one aspect. Not alone. Another aspect, Israel's doing the same thing that we just got on the damn Somalis doing, except it's much worse. And see, they boxing the scene, man, pretty much, because they're trying to merge. They're also trying to merge their military. So basically, they can come in and do whatever they're going to do, however they want to do. It's going to be a muck. Basically, it's like when I told you about that situation with Clyde, motherfuckers move. That's just how they're going to treat our. That's just how they're going to treat our politicians. We ain't got no help, dog, unless we do it. And there's more to it than this, but I just ain't got enough time, or I don't know if I have enough time to explain it. I'll keep going if you want me to.
Well, no, I don't mind if you keep going, but my thing is, so we're looking at Trump wanted to get rid of the 14th Amendment, because I guess his reasoning was that was written for the children of slaves. We no longer have slavery. The argument on their side is that legislation was specifically for the children of slaves. That's who it was for.
It was.
And
It
it
was.
shouldn't and doesn't apply to anybody else, right? And so Trump wanted to get rid of it as a way to say, nah, you still got to go. I don't care how many kids you came over here and had, you still got to go. I'm not trying to hear that. So
right, because of what Trump knows what's going on. Like, let's just take China for example. Matter of fact, they got travel agencies that sponsor. I mean, they're making big money because what happens is, these mothers are coming over here on vacation. It's birthed by tourism. Having these babies, now these babies are American citizens. Okay, now they qualify for SNAP benefits and everything else, but yet they're gonna go back home and raise that kid in China. Okay, and then when he turns 18, they're gonna send him back over. Basically, they need to get information on us, secrets on us, and whatnot. And that's law in China. If you're over here, if you're over there, you come here, you got to send them something back, or else they gonna your family gonna pay for it over there. You know what I'm saying? That's how they move. You get what I'm saying? So it's not beneficial to us at all to sit and fight for these people, especially when they don't like us anyway. You know what I mean? So I mean, at the end of the day, man, truthfully speaking, I really think China and Israel. China already got them people on watch with their social credit scores and all that. Israel trying to do the same thing, and they coming over here. They trying to steal the country from us. Once they get over here, you already seen how Clive Davis can move. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be instant. Instant assassination if you don't agree with them. You know what I'm saying? They're going to just take over the spot. So we don't have to go to war. Man.
By your logic, you agree with Trump that we should get rid of the 14th Amendment and not allow birthright citizenship.
No, I didn't say birthright. Listen. What I'm gonna say this here, it was meant for us. What they need to put some stipulations on it. You know what I'm saying? Because what's happening is other nationalities are coming in and abusing it, and basically sending the money that we pay for our taxes is going back to their country. Do you see what I'm saying? Because each situation gonna be different. You know, if you're coming over here on and you already pregnant and you have a baby over here, no, I don't think that should be a citizen. You know, if you're living here and you have a baby, or if you've been here for X amount of time and you had a baby, then let's look at those circumstances. But we all know, I'm gonna keep it 100. The United States is a slave to everybody right now. You get what I'm saying? And so many different ways, especially if you FBA, man, none of these groups like us now. Otherwise, this is our last ride. We might as well get ready for it. And no offense, we got children. We got kids. And I don't want my kids to be slaves to them people over there.
Okay, so I think we are back on. I had a power outage. Some knocked my power out, so everything, my modem had to reset and everything. Now give me a second to get this back up. I think we're up and running. If y'all can hear me, somebody let me know in the chat room. If you can still see or hear the show, because it says the stream is. Double check and see if it's back on. Because
you working. Working.
So I see we got Orlando Owens. He's on the line. Brenda Peterson, how you doing in the chat room? She said, "Hey Kev, how you doing, Brenda? How you doing? Let me see. Sharita Shaw says, y'all see that Mexican grocery store, Cermak on Miller Parkway? It's really clean, overly stocked with every vegetable, meat, and have every produce possible." Okay. So my question was, we were talking about birthright citizenship, and I got Orlando in with us. I know if people were listening to the show, they said, "What the hell happened?" I was saying the same thing because my power just dropped. I mean, everything just cut off. So my point was, this is something that Trump, one of his executive orders that he came up with, that, you know, people were like, yo, you know, early on, people were saying, Trump supporters were saying, well, you guys should be satisfied that happy that the 14th Amendment was actually established to protect you guys, because the babies, the children of the slaves. That was to say that if you were a slave, because they weren't allowed to be citizens, but they were saying if you were a slave and you had a child, that child would be a citizen, right? Whatever. But so Trump came up with an executive order that said, no, in order to stop illegal, or to put a kind of like a chokehold on illegal immigration and to stop how they're actually doing it, we're going to get rid of this. Well, the Supreme Court said, no, we're going to keep this. And just like Ace and Orlando, who were still on the line after the power outage, were saying is that Clarence Thomas, who is probably the most famous shuffler, the most famous buck dancer of our time, actually was one of the main objectors to Trump's executive order. And, you know, he came up with this 91-page dissent document talking about why we should keep this here. So I want to just put a place on where we were, so people won't be lost. Let me know if y'all can still hear or see us, because I have no clue. It still says the stream is going as far as I know. So Ace, now you were talking about this. Now you can
hold on. The Clarence, he's fighting to keep this birthright citizenship from these immigrants on. Keep it going.
Yes, he wanted. Yeah, the Supreme Court voted to keep the 14th Amendment in place. Trump wanted to get rid of it.
Okay, well, what was the score for that? How many? Orlando, you probably know. How many people voted yes, and how many people voted no?
It was 6-3.
It's 3, but I think, Kev, you may be wording it wrong. Trump's argument was this was meant only for free slaves. It was never meant for other folks to come in.
Okay.
And Clarence Thomas.
That's what he was saying. That's what I thought he was saying.
So they actually wanted to tighten up that amendment of what it actually meant. It was never meant for others. It was only meant for descendants of slaves. And that's what Trump was trying to say. Like, wait a minute. You can't have all these, people coming over the border and say because they was born here. No, that was only meant for the slaves. And when you look at those amendments, 14, 15, they were all kind of written together to address that. I'm out of breath, y'all. I'm getting my walk in. Keep talking.
Well, at the end of the day, man, they've abused it. They found a loophole. The Democrats took advantage of it, and it's hurt us. I mean, especially with this last administration. You know what I'm saying? Because now we got a muck running. We had all kind of people coming in. We had the Somalis doing what they're doing. We got the Arabs doing what they're doing. We got the Asians doing what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? And, at the end of the day, they all saying it's us. We the welfare babies. We ain't taking care of our kids. We don't want to work. We don't want to do this. We don't want to do that. Just like now with the shit going on with this Asian. You know what? I applaud my people. I'm so proud of my people because they standing on business, because because of the delineation. We ain't spending no money with nobody but us. And that's what we should have been doing because we have fed the world, because they can't open up stores in their neighborhoods. You know what I mean? These Muslims coming in selling alcohol when they don't even drink alcohol. They selling pork. They don't even eat pork. So,
good points being made. Good points being made. I was listening to sometimes I'm just scrolling and I'm in the Podverse and I'm not even thinking about where I'm at. But I heard this was Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. So Malcolm X was talking about Elijah Muhammad and Martin Luther King's where their philosophical differences were, and Elijah Muhammad was saying what Martin Luther King is doing is he's taking black people into places where white people don't want them, and he's saying to them, "No, we have a right to be here. You should allow us to be here." But Elijah Muhammad was saying, "No, if they don't want us there, why should we be there? We don't want to be there. If you can't eat in a restaurant on the west side, then don't eat in the restaurant. Go back to the south side and build your own restaurant and empower ourselves." And so when it comes to us doing for us, for a long time has been a discussion, but we've never actually put it into action. And that's why you see so many interlopers in our community, like Arabs or like Asians or like, whoever, and they'll come in and they have a business and they disrespect us and talk down on us and take that money and leave. So, and how this connects to the whole discussion of immigration is you got a lot of foundational Black Americans right now who look around the community and see we're not empowered in our own community. There's immigrants who are empowered. So you got a lot of them who are jumping on board with saying, no, you know what? It's time for something to be done about immigration as well. And so a lot of people are putting this on the backs of FBA saying, oh, you guys are Trump supporters. You support MAGA because you don't want immigration in the neighborhood. So a lot of this has just become mirrors. So let me go to my chat room because I got behind. Shout out to Maureen Bishop. How you doing? She says she can hear and see us. My power went out, y'all, so I had to basically restart the whole feed. So I didn't know if people could still see or hear us. I wanted to make sure. Sharita Saw said, I heard it's a win.
That's not a win. That's not a win.
She said, I don't believe the 14th Amendment was for us. She said it wasn't against us. I'm confused now, Sharita. The 14th Amendment,
yeah, me too.
The 14th Amendment was definitely written, and the language in it is supposed to be relevant to slaves, the children of slaves. That's what this whole thing was about, right? And so, but a lot of other nationalities have come into the country and said, oh, but there's an amendment on the Constitution that if I have a child here, then that child will be a citizen and I can stay. Well, I guess Trump's argument was that amendment don't apply to you, Latino. It applies to slaves.
But the reason Trump said that because a lot of those people that were coming over here, they were voting Democrats. So it's not like he cared, you know what I'm saying, about nothing like that. It was about they wasn't voting, they were voting Democrat. You see what I'm saying? So he's not looking at it like, oh my God, they're abusing it, because that shit been going on forever. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about that. He just looked at it like he's trying to do whatever he can to try to not to have people vote Democrat or whatever. You feel what I'm saying? So as far as him even giving a fuck, that is null and void in my book. You know what I'm saying?
You know what, D, I don't think he was about us. It just works to help. It works in our faith. Something actually works in our faith. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going. I don't care what if I feel like it's gonna help my people, I don't give a fuck who do it.
And also, but see, another thing though, you got to understand too. Don't think all them motherfuckers like that come into this country vote Democrat, because a lot of them Cuban. See, you got to understand. A lot of those people from those other countries, they religion. So Cubans are very conservative. They're Catholic. They don't believe in abortion. A lot of them voted for Trump. A lot of Mexicans voted for Trump. Look at what the Palestinians did over there in Michigan. You know what I'm saying? Even in Minnesota, they had a group of Ugandans, you know what I'm saying, that was voting for Trump. A lot of Kenyans voted for Trump because they're looking at, they feel like the religious aspect of it, the conservative aspect of it. So a lot of those people are conservative. So don't let that shit fool you now. You know what I'm saying? That's
single issue voters.
You know what that tells me?
what?
Like, this tells me people are tired of this fucking LGBT movement, and it's gone too crazy. You know what I'm saying? And they're trying to definitely.
I don't even care about the gays, no man. Fuck
Yeah,
the gays.
I don't give a fuck about that.
People, other people, I mean, too. Put it like this, Dion, if you was,
They got more power. They got lobbyists. They got more power than anybody. Don't think that the gays.
No, I get that. I get that. What I'm saying is, you don't got no kids, do you?
I got a daughter. My daughter 32.
Okay. Damn, you got an adult, my nigga.
Wow, fucking boy, you hear me?
You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, let's just say she's young, right?
Uh-huh.
And the problem is, she going to school, and like me, I'm out when I was out west in Portland. You know, you got people telling these kids they don't even know what their gender is. You see what I'm saying? First of all, they shouldn't be talking about sex to the kids. It's only ABCs and 1, 2, 3. Nothing with intimacy or nothing like that should be talked about with a kid because their brain ain't fully developed. They don't even know how to understand what they listening to. Do you get what
I can agree with you. I can agree with you on that to a certain extent, but also look at society. You know what I'm saying? So somebody needs to explain when you got your best friend, they got 2 mommies, or they got 2 daddies. You know what I'm saying? Now, to say you a boy, you know, you was born a boy, you a girl, you was born a girl. To try to confuse them in the gender identity, I feel that. That's definitely wrong. It ain't never 2 genders.
Hold on, give me a second. Dion, give me a second. Let me say, I want to welcome Ian to the platform. I know he has some.
Man, what my nigga at? He been gone.
He's had some work responsibilities. Ian, welcome to the show. I know you came a little bit late. What's going on, bro? How you doing?
Bro, I'm good, man. Just listening. What up, y'all? What up, Ace? What up, D? I can't. Shit, all I hear when I hear.
Don't come in here with that funny shit.
Hey, every time, dog. Every time I hear about this kind of shit, all I think is distraction. It's a distraction.
Yeah,
true.
I don't think we realize it or whatever. And like I said, I got homies on both sides of it. There is no world right now where we can support anything this clown does. You can't support it.
Nope.
He's talking about birthright citizenship. We have no comment. What you gonna do about the Epstein files and the economy, homie? What you gonna do about that war in Iran, homie? Yeah, because he does this kind of stuff so people can be on the bottom and argue about it and do all this, and they can keep doing what they're doing. He don't care. Like Dion said, he don't care about no freaking. It was for black people. It wasn't intended. If he had his way by his actions, by the amount of black women that have been removed from the workforce, by the amount of black people that have been removed from good, stable, high-paying government jobs, he don't care about black people either. We shouldn't be celebrating anything this clown does. Nothing. Not one thing.
Y'all got to read Project 2025 to really know.
Thank you. I did. That's why I don't trust nothing he says or does, Dion, because I did read that shit. And it bothers me that we're so distracted by this. Forget, okay, birthright citizenship, it went the way we should have it. Great. Let's move on to the next thing. Because this dude is a catastrophic profiteer off the presidency. He's using it as a pulpit for profit. That's all this guy is doing. And it's amazing.
He made $1 billion.
That's all of it. That's all of it.
In
To
investments.
the point, the Fourth Amendment was about black folks, wasn't about nobody else. And to the brother, non-Dion, and the other one I won't mention, but the other brother who makes a point, this is about replacing the black power in the vote. When you bring in other folks who, let's call them, most of them voting Democrat, you lose the power of the black vote. You're replacing the black people's vote by opening up these borders like you're doing for people who never was for an amendment that was never meant for them. And now you've taken away the power, or at least taken away some of the, let's call it, sting of the black vote, because you replace it. Therefore, Democrats who black people tend to vote for, you don't have that pool no more because they say, well, we got these other folk over here now. We don't need to kowtow to y'all like that.
Right. I agree with that. But at the same time, you know what? Who's pushing that? You know, at the end of the day, bro, That's the folks that I'm always talking about. Matter of fact, a lot of people don't know what they're capable of. Do people know that they've been supplying the cartels weaponry and war and stuff like that to come through? You see what I'm saying? Basically, they trying to surround us. When you say they trying to come in to they trying to merge our militaries. You know, they've always stole secrets from us. So at this point, it's gonna be their secret. And if you see, like I told you, if you've seen how Clyde Davis moves, if you look at the entertainment moves, how they move when they get in, if something don't go right, when they want something, they're gonna assassinate you. That's just how they move. And it's just gonna be a lot more assassinations. So we might as well get ready if that happens. Because these motherfuckers been moving corrupt for a very long time.
Yeah.
A very long time. And then the thing is, if you're not America first, and you taking APAC money and you bidding for them, you're a traitor. You should be put up for treason, or worse, and shot. Shit.
Well, the penalty for treason is death.
Chat room. Let me go to my chat room for a second, y'all. Earl Henning says, "What it do, my black brothers and sisters? Love us all, and fuck Donald Trump and his friends." Okay. Rita says, "Yes, it works out in our favor." Are you talking about what works in our favor? Hold on, I
have no idea, because I would like to hear her point as to why that works out for us to have them have that not shut down. Because we can't afford nobody else in here. They were barely telling us they have money to give that we can't even get our reparations.
Hold on, Ace. Earl says, "I used to have my sister's dolls." Hold on, because Earl is getting real freakified in the chat, right? I used to have my sister's dolls, Ken and Barbie, having sex when I was a kid. So Donald Trump and his friends. Let me give you one of them, Earl. You just Damn,
why you always got to say nasty shit, Earl?
Michael Reed. Shout out to Michael Reed, man. Thanks for tuning in to the show.
Oh, God, I believe
it's the first time Michael has ever commented. He said Mexicans are well on their way to building generational wealth Hispanic style.
Yes, they
for
are.
Their unhindered ethnic expression of their success to survive the economic uncertainty of these times. Bless that culture indeed. Lord, cause them to strive and thrive and flourish in your beautiful word. Praise God. Amen. Okay. And
we paid for it.
Well, hold on. So the lesson that you can take from a Latino, right? And I'm fully aware, especially when it comes to Mexicans, that they're not necessarily the biggest champions of my people, right? We know that there's some hate there, but the one thing I can give Mexican people and most Latino people, they have the greatest solidarity in the world. Yeah, they have managed to, no matter wherever they go, keep their culture, their languages, their traditions, their communities, they keep them intact and they stick together. They live together. Now they have some dysfunctions, as far as
for sure. They do.
Urban wise here in the city. But
are you talking Latino or are you just talking Mexican? Because they don't get them. Latinos don't all get along.
Ace, you gotta let me finish.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I said Latinos, I said Mexicans, and most Latinos, because Puerto Ricans and Dominicans pretty much have the same level of solidarity like Cubans do. So most Latinos keep solidarity at the forefront of their focus, whereas Black people, we don't have that solidarity. If we had that solidarity, we wouldn't have to worry about none of this bullshit. We wouldn't have to worry about no birthright citizenship, because the issue here is, and this is my only issue with immigration, and I said this before and I'll say it again and again. My only problem with immigrants is when you come into my community and you exploit my community. When we purchase whatever goods you bring and you get money and you empower yourselves and you can send money all the way back across the world to wherever you came from, and then you talk real spicy about us, or you treat us a certain way when we come into your establishments, that's when I start to say we need to get rid of them immigrants. Like, other than that, I don't really care. Like, if it don't really affect Black people, I don't really keep my mind on it. But when we start to talk about interlopers in our community, like my brother was saying, you coming into the community making a king's ransom off things you don't even like. An Arab grocer will sell you pork rinds and they don't even eat pork. right?
Yep.
They'll sell you all the liquor in the world and don't even drink alcohol and take that money and run with it and then look down on us. And also at the same time, never really kick back to the community with all the money you're making. What's your investment into the community unless you're expanding your store? Because a lot of times they don't even hire us.
They won't. They hire their cousin.
Well, sometimes you see they catch a sister and put her behind the glass. And
yeah, sometimes.
But who knows how that goes?
They fucking her, though. They fucking her.
What he said, I don't know that to be true. But it's suspected, right? Like a lot of times because we know they like our women. So, they
love our women.
They'll try to holler at, hey, baby.
But you know what, though? Every day our community is exploited, not only by them, but by Europeans, too. Like when I used to work out on 107th and Dodgers Bay, every day at 3:30 and at 5 o'clock, you see a great exodus. People that come from Sherwood, Cedarburg, Osaka, Cedarburg is Osaka County, Washington County, goddamn Dane County, goddamn Sheboygan. They come down here, you know what I'm saying, and work and go back to the suburbs and the rural counties where they live at. They come down here, drain. The police don't even live. I remember one time when I used to drive a truck, I used to see a Milwaukee Police K-9 unit. He stayed in Eden, Wisconsin. And I was like, well, Eden, Wisconsin, that's right up there with Kewaskum and all that, 45. And I'm like, yeah, of course they're going to be scared of niggas because you ain't seeing them white people all day. So when you do encounter a black person, your mentality is like kill, kill, kill because the only imagery that you have of them is being a violent criminal, a gangbanger. That's why I fear for my life. You fear for your life for the black skin. You feel what I'm saying? So the Mexicans and the Arabs and the Indians and the Palestinians and the Iranians and the people from Yemen and the Sikh, everybody comes and exploit our community. And what we left with? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? We fighting over crumbs. That's one thing I respected about like Wonder Bread and Budweiser and Miller.
Yep.
All of them sell the same thing, but they never fight each other. So why when niggas was out here getting money, just using that analogy, why we got to be into it? Because you hustling on the block, I'm hustling on the block. But I might get on the block, so you might leave before you going to get the leftover scraps after me, so everybody going to make money. You know what I'm saying? The whole world make money, but we as black people, we never developed that mentality. You know what I'm saying? We got that crab in the barrel, that crab in the barrel mentality. You know what I'm saying? But I also understand that because that goes back to, as I always say, I don't care what nobody say, post-traumatic slave syndrome. You know what I'm saying? Like, we fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
Dion, let me get the chat room.
Go ahead. I know you're going to get the chat.
Sharita says, Ace, I'm not wording it right, but I will send you more information. She said, I mean Earl. She said she means Earl. I don't know that Earl made a comment about Sharita. She said they all have solidarity because they are not a threat. Black folks are. She says, it's just me breaking up or y'all experiencing the same thing. I'm not experiencing any difficulties over here. So I don't know if anybody else is having any, because I know, like I said, I had to basically reboot the feed because my power went out for some reason. But so I hear you, Dion, on that. I hear what you're saying. And I'm not, of course, we know we're exploited in our community multiple ways. I know that. But the conversation is about immigrants. If now we was going to do one about how white people exploit the community, that would be on a whole different level. Now we start to talk about corporate exploitation. We started talking about institutional exploitation. We started to talk about a city that right now, and I'm talking about the city of Milwaukee, ain't doing the right things with tax revenue.
Nope.
Okay. So that's exploitation as well. But I'm specifically just speaking to immigration because I keep hearing these talking heads, these pundits trying to give us a role in something I don't feel like we have a part in. Like, you're talking about FBAs are white supremacists and, they're against immigrants. And like, I don't hear any FBA person. I haven't heard them. And it might be a situation, but I haven't heard any person who represents FBA talking down on anybody else, talking down on, hey, let's kick all the Latinos out of this country or any of that. I've heard them talk about tethers. I have heard them talk about anchor babies, but mostly the conversation is centered around when these people come into our community and they exploit us. This is what we hate. And that's Arabs, that's Latinos, that's Asians, that's anybody who comes right, white people included. If you come into our community and you are exploiting us in any shape, form, or fashion, we want your ass gone. As a matter of fact, it's even applicable to some black people.
I was just about to actually say that, especially with the political shit.
We want your ass gone too.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a conversation in which a lot of people just speak to hear their own voice, right? Like a lot of people are really in love with the sound of their own voice. That is the age we live in with all these platforms and podcasts and web shows and blogs and vlogs. A lot of people, the first time they heard their voice go through a microphone, they fell in love and said, "Oh, I love how I sound." So they'll pretty much echo any kind of sentiment they hear or say any kind of shit that they didn't heard just to feel like I'm smart and people like me. I have opinions.
What's that paper?
I'm out.
Intellectual masturbation, intellectual masturbation.
Any black man that's in the hood right now or in anywhere where his people or wherever he lives, if he's talking to a group or audience of black people that's not preaching economics and is trying to preach like some political party can help your black ass or whoever you are, is nuts. And niggas need to start paying attention to that on a different level, because you got these people that look like us that'll tell you, "Oh, you need to vote for the Democrat Party, sir. You need to vote for the Republicans." They don't give a fuck about you in no way, shape, or form. And these niggas ain't saying it. They're not saying it. They just sit up there like, if you vote for such and such, they're going to help your life. No, they not. One going to have taxes higher. The other one going to have taxes high. They not really going to have no programs for you. Man, learn how to understand how money works. Get some real estate. Right. Whether it's expensive or not, do something. Because I'm tired of these cats, like my guy Christopher Lawrence. He was on his little page. You know, he a conservative. He black, whatever. I like him, but I don't like his stance. He was like, "Yeah, we won. The 250 over in Washington, we won." Trying to praise Trump in some capacity. I'm like, bro, what do you mean we won? Y'all was all sad for Charlie Kirk and this and this and this when he made the college campuses more dangerous for people that look like your daughter and my kids. You up here part of a freaking political party that really does not give a fuck about people of color. This version of the Republican Party is different than they even were 10 years ago. They don't like people of color. If you are part of the party and you are a person of color, they're using you just to get votes from people that look like you. That's all it is. And people ain't bold enough to freaking constantly push that issue. It's all about economics, bro. That's it. Oh, somebody done said Roland Martin. It done started.
He said Roland Martin. Listen, Roland Martin is, let me say this. I believe Roland Martin is an intelligent dude, right?
He's smart.
But I think he's been in the spotlight and he's had a voice. He's had a voice for a very long time. So sometimes, right? Okay, you feel where I'm going with this? Like it's almost like you done run out of shit to say. So like sometimes
out of here.
He's just like, you know, you come off like, and for somebody who's supposed to be for us, once again, I've never understood.
He's not.
How are you you're for us, and you're more pro-Democrat, but you're totally anti-FBA. That shit.
Yeah, he is. I forgot about that.
I'm so confused by that. Like, wait a minute.
You don't like black people.
You love Democrats, but you hate black people. Like, but you're black. Like, I don't, it's anytime you get any one of these dudes and Stephen A. Smith and all of these guys who get so big for their britches, where they'll say, "I don't care what the African-American community says." You already know the end.
Why not? Why not? Why don't you care what black people say?
It's a sophisticated way of saying, I don't care what you niggas think. That's just what it is. And I see this, I keep seeing this clip from Django, and I cannot stop watching it. No matter how hard I try. The fact that they didn't give Samuel L. Jackson some kind of award for Steven in that movie is this is the greatest acting job I have ever seen in my life. When he first sees Jamie Foxx on the horse, it is the funniest. Who that nigga on that nag? And Jamie Foxx says, "Listen here, Snowball. If you want to know my name or my horse name, you ask me." And he said, "Who you calling Snowball? I snatch your black ass off that horse right now." Like it is the greatest. It is the greatest. Like he's arguing with look, he hate black people so much, he's arguing with his master about it. You gonna let that nigga sleep in the big house? He said you had to burn the sheets, the curtains, the room. He told that nigga, your daddy will roll over in his grave if you see this shit.
Oh shit!
It's so crazy how that is so parallel and so connected to some of the black people I see right now today.
Yeah.
Right. Like if you are a person who's preaching black empowerment, you got this microphone and you got this platform and you ride up, they look and say, who that nigga on that nag? Right. And they white daddy to say, look, God damn it, you calm down. Right. Like he say. So I just, once again, I must have watched that shit. I know I watched it over like 12 times. I seen it and somebody had clipped it up and I just couldn't stop watching it because I said, Samuel L. Jackson is the greatest actor of our generation. And I thought Denzel was, but Samuel L. Jackson.
Hey, he done been in more movies too. Samuel L. He has.
One role. He really hated Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, he did.
He really had hate for Django, man.
I saw it for the first time 2 weeks ago. I'd never seen it because I heard it was a fictional story, so I didn't really care about it. But my white guy made me watch it. He was like, bro, you gotta watch this shit. He was like, it's wild. He said Samuel L. Jackson is the man.
Django is an incredible movie. Like I got that movie poster hanging in my studio. I used to could see all these movie posters I got, my Willie Dynamite and all that kind of stuff. But I still, to this day, Django is one of the better movies that I've seen in terms of.
You ever seen 12 Years of Slavery?
I refuse.
I like that movie.
No, I've never watched.
I've never seen it either. I've read so much about.
But you know what though? I like it. I'm gonna tell you why I like it, because if you see Platt, how he acted up in that motherfucker, the dude, that shit was crazy. Because like sometimes, like I feel you on what you said about Django too. Because sometimes you got to take yourself and put your, like I couldn't. Could you imagine, like right now, me and you, kid, we walk into the store, bro, and motherfuckers is kidnap us. Take us from our family. Take us over to Africa. We don't know shit about Africa, and we fighting to try to get back. And we gone. You know what I'm saying? You know how fucked up that is. That man, and then the abuse that he took. It's funny though, but that man, he was fucked up. And at the end, it was like, that's that man Platt, right? He was like, what's your name? He was like, my name is Thurwood. And he snatched the wear. He was like, man, these motherfuckers, that shit crazy, man. And they was doing that though. See. That's another thing. Like people don't. I ain't gonna say we or whoever, but just thinking about it, the South was slavery. They ended slavery in the North. I forgot, like around the either late 1700s or early 1800s. So even though it was racism up north, but it wasn't slavery. But it was slavery in the South. So a lot of times the slave catchers were going up north, snatching motherfuckers from the North. Taking them to the the dynamics of that shit was crazy. And also, you know, like I was listening to something today. Remember I texted you earlier? Yeah, that shit had me dying laughing. I was sitting in in the office listening to that shit. Oh, girl, a fool. She went in on his ass. But like a lot of times, like I don't think, you know, I ain't gonna say we are whoever, but the dynamics of slavery was complicated. Because slavery was an economic machine.
Yeah.
So even though if you had people that was in conflict of knowing that these were human beings because they was fucking our women and probably fucking some of the men, but it was an economic machine. You feel what I'm saying? That's just like prison. Prison is an economic machine. Crime is an economic machine because it keeps police employed. It keeps DAs employed. It keeps judges employed. It keeps correctional officers out there in those little Peckerwood towns. It keeps them buying them big F-150s with the lift kits on them. So it's you know what I'm saying? So yes, crime, because they can listen. When they gave us all stimulus checks, so they sent all that money over to Israel and aid to other countries, they can end crime like that. But it's an economic machine. So when you end crime, what happens to those people that actually depend on crime? That's with slavery. It was people that built foundations off slavery, wealth off slavery. So just to end it like that, you know, because he was breaking. And then I might have to Google it myself and look at it. He was reading the original Declaration of Independence that I think Thomas and Jefferson wrote. You feel what I'm saying? So the original one sounded real good, but how many people would hurt behind ending the economic machine of slavery? So a motherfucker didn't want to look bad and have to have people still in his favor. So no matter what, and not saying that he was a good man, because I don't know what type of man he was. And far as they say in history, say he's a good man. But but he didn't want to fuck with that foundation of slavery. So regardless if he had a moral dilemma with it, he didn't want to mess with the economic machine. So it's a lot more difficult than we know. So I can understand what you be saying when you be like the FBA, you know, whatever, things like that, because we were economic machines in the United States of America that built a lot of wealth, owe money to this day. Purdue Chicken, a lot of insurance agencies and things like that. But we haven't received any reparations from what our forefathers and our ancestors did. You feel what I'm saying? So it's a lot into that. That's just like even with immigration. You know what I'm saying? When the immigrants come over here, like you say, motherfucker put a roof on. They can start at 9:05. That roof will be put on before 11 o'clock tonight, working in nothing. Goddamn it, niggas ain't gonna do that. So when you start fucking with people money, they build houses, they do a roof. Like when you driving down the street, you see these constructions on the side of these little side street shit like that. You don't see people that look like me and you. You really don't see too many white people when you looking on the highway. And then if you're on the highway, you see a mixture of Mexicans and white. You feel what I'm saying? So immigration, they came over here, they started families, they came into the system. So a lot of that shit is difficult. It just sounds good. It sounds good for sound bites, because if ICE was really on immigration like that, the motherfucking west side of Chicago and the south side of Milwaukee would be empty. So they must not be doing that big of a job. You feel what I'm saying?
I'm sure working on it because they're on the south side right now. Now let me go to
the they ain't doing it good enough.
Earl says, don't take any of the things. Hold on, let me get the chat room, Dion. Earl is saying, don't take any of the things I say. He said, I say something to cut the ice. It's a joke. Fuck Donald Trump and his friends. Con men can go to war, but can't feed the poor. Education is in life and its endeavors. I agree with you there, Earl. I am a big advocate of education. Ruben Anderson, how you doing, my brother? Yeah, what's going on, Rube? I see you in the chat room. I wanted to make a comment, but hold on. Mikey, what up, man? Mikey Davis, he said, what up, y'all? What's up, Mikey? How you doing? He said, I'm with you. Sharita said slavery started with trading on Wall Street. That's how Wall Street started. So, Dion, you did hit me earlier about a conflict, I guess, between our who was a friend
we
of the
ain't
show.
Gotta say no name.
Yeah, I ain't, it is what it is. I ain't shit. It ain't on me. It's Vince, Tony, and Michelle Bryant, right? Like, so because listen, and I'm saying that because she did it on her show. So I don't. Is this supposed to be a secret?
Yeah, that's true. She did it on her show.
Like it was a behind the scenes phone call that I'm snitching. I don't even know. I didn't hear it. I don't even know what it was about. You did. People might be referencing like what he said. He called Kev. He was texting Kev about something earlier, and he said, "Oh, girl." That's what you were talking about. I still don't even know what the gist of it is. I haven't spoken with Vince in a while. So I don't know what the whole issue is. But, you know, these types of things happen. People have misunderstandings. But my point that I wanted to make was when we started talking about slavery, and slavery has a way of just creeping its way back into all these conversations, right? Yeah. And I didn't mean for this to go into to bring slavery into it. I really was just focused on the fact that this whole thing, this 14th Amendment, was supposedly written to benefit the children of slaves by saying they are citizens of the United States. And Trump had went at it. He challenged it. It was with an executive order. It was pretty much shot down by the Supreme Court, who said, no, we're going to uphold that. So basically the practice of anchor babies will still be allowed. Now, how does it connect to us? Well, our community, especially in high poverty areas, are the areas that are more likely to be invaded. I call it an invasion. More likely to be invaded by immigrant businesses, because the people in that community, and specifically in Milwaukee, in the Black community, don't tend to have money to invest and start businesses. We don't have the favor of the banks because of the credit. So it seems like a lot of times you question, wait, how's an Arab able to come over here from their country and be able to qualify for all of this stuff, start a business in my community and blow up? And the community suffers. And a lot of times, let's be honest, with these liquor stores and these gas stations, these are the hot spots for trouble in the community. You say, where do most of the bullshit go down at? Where do most of the bullshit go down at? At that gas station right there, at that liquor store right there, at that corner store right there. And so they serve as a detriment to our community. That's the only time you're gonna hear me complain about immigrants. Especially when I've gotten into it with Arabs in stores. I've been in stores where they're talking nasty and spicy to the kids. And I say, man, don't be talking to these damn kids like that, man.
Yep.
They're coming in here spending money with your ass. You get out of my store, buddy, and all this kind of shit. And I'm a grown man. You better take your ass back behind that glass, man. I've had to tell. I had one run from behind the glass on me one time. And he must have been about 5'2". And when he got out from behind the glass, I guess it was one of them things where he said, I thought the glass made him look bigger than he is. He realized when he got from behind the glass that he was looking up at me. I was gonna smash his little ass. He hurry up. He took one look and he hurry up and got back behind that glass. I said, man, you better get your ass back behind that glass. Because when he came around, I'm like, what is he serious? What he finna do? And he ran out there like I said, leave started now. I'm like, man, what the fuck you gonna do? And man, he looked at me and went back behind that glass. I called police. You better call police, right? Because you are out of order for talking to these little kids like that. I would hope and pray that if my children were in the store one day and they was, you know how kids are when they're in the store and one kid got the money and he or she is in charge and everybody trying to grab shit. No, you can't get that. You can't get that. How much is this? How much is this? Hurry up, hurry up. Like, hold on, man. We ain't complaining and we behind the kids. We stand in line. Let these little kids do what they do. So, or when I see them saying certain stuff to sisters in the hood, I've seen Arabs and, hey, baby, yeah, you look good, or you have love, I love your jeans and all this. I'm like, hey, man, don't nobody mess with y'all women with them dots on their forehead, man. Don't nobody mess with them. Leave ours alone.
He gave it so.
I know.
Hey, they walk around looking like ninjas anyway. You can't see them.
Some of them you can.
And if you mess with them, they'll try to come after you. I had a homeboy that talked to one of them. They tried to go after dude. Yeah.
I don't know. I've seen a lot in the hood, but I can't ever recall one of my partners coming away with the Arab daughter that be in the gas station.
Yeah. They was at school or whatever. And she didn't have that stuff like the rest of them. And yeah, they didn't. They heard pops. I'm feeling that.
Well, they're in their culture, they're really strict about, staying within their culture.
Oh, they threatened dude. They was talking about shooting them over that shit. Yeah.
Everybody is except us. We give.
When I think what I'm talking about, when it comes to them, you go to they do this. It's almost never.
We intelligent though, man. We don't focus on dumb shit though.
They will actually kill you, man. If you are
kill you,
or a widow, or a whore, they will kill a woman. Dude, they have no problem laying a woman down.
Mexicans are the same. They don't want, and that's how they hold their solidarity. See, we the only ones who talk. Well, I can't find a black man, maybe a white man to treat me right. We participate in the bed wench culture, and the what I call it, the buck dancing culture, with a lot of brothers who say you can't have nothing with no black woman. I got to give me a white girl. That's the only way I'm gonna make it in life.
Remember, Kev, only 8% of white men and black women are together, and only like 11% of black men marry white women. So that's not that.
In the NBA, then it turns to 80% because these pro athletes, they don't.
You talking about motherfuckers dating though? That might be different.
I'm gonna give you a little pushback here that when you listen to I was at an X Space the other night with the Sheik Rashid, and one of the biggest issues he has is not so much he has an issue with any foreigner, honestly, but there's definitely a battle between the FDA and the Africans. So I would push back on that point you made earlier that the FDA do, because there's a strife between the Africans who come to this country, and they, for lack of better terms, think they're better than us, and they want to, co-sign our struggles, but also talk kind of greasy on like why we can't get ahead. So there's a little beef with the Africans and the ones come over with the big head, not literally, but also.
And that's because number one is white supremacists are filling their head full of shit. They just, and not only that, what they see on TV, the white supremacists are gonna tell them they outworking us, we lazy. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, the African don't know his fucking worth. He making pennies. You get what I'm saying? Anyway, I mean, most of the black people, we corporate jobs. They fucking shoveling shit for You know what I'm saying? And then when they get up to us, get up to our level, they getting screwed out of their pay. You know, their motto is, hey, I don't want to sit around. If that's all they're going to pay, I'm just going to take it. And that's because they come from nothing. I mean, there's no real resources like that over there.
Well,
and so when they come here, minimum wage is a myth.
There's always been, so even before the FBA and the delineation movement started, there's always been a divide between Native Africans and Black Americans. And I'm going to tell you, this goes all the way back. I tell people, when I was in undergrad up in Minnesota, I went to school with a lot of Kenyans and Nigerians. And it was a surprise to me because in my head, I'm thinking, yo, you from the motherland, you're African, I'm Black, like we're brothers right? And we're sisters, until I started to have conversations with them. And they started to express negative things about us. Like, especially like the women would say, you know, American guys don't know how to treat, you know, American Black guys don't know how to treat women. And, you know, I noticed that the Africans that I went to school with did their best to cohabitate. Is that a word? Cohabitate?
Yeah.
They did their best to really hang with white people, right? Like, so when you look around and you see some of them, they be with the white people and you be like, whoa, what the hell? Like, and they don't even talk to you. Like they never expressed any desire to be social with us. And when I would start talking to them, it would always be a sentiment of, well, you know, you guys, you know, the way you behave or the way you carry yourselves. And, you know, I remember when I lived on Vera off of Good Hope, and there's a gas station on Good Hope and Teutonia, and there was an African proprietor there. And I sat in one night I came in there. I was coming home from just being out, you know, cavorting, right? Bar hopping. So your boy was a little oiled up, right? So, you know, you're a little bit more social. And I started talking to him. He was disgusted with Black Americans because he said in his own words, white people never insult me. They do not come in my store and try to insult me. The Black children come in here, call me African booty scratcher and all kinds of negative things. They steal from my store. And I said, damn. I said, that's how you feel? I said, but so you're friends with white people. It was like they are so much nicer to us than Black Americans. They are so much nicer to us. I was sitting there, I was confused, and I said, okay. Well, you know, it depends on where you place yourself, and it depends on also how you treat us here. I said, a lot of us here, we're not going to accept you talking down to us or looking down on us just because you come from Africa. Right? Like if you come in over here, you got to get in where you fit in. You living in our community. This is our community you're in. You need to act like that and know your role. And so his whole explanation to me was like how much business that he does. Now, aside from the gas station, he was saying in his country, he was an engineer. Based on his level of education, he was an engineer. Oh God. When he came to America, none of it transferred, right? No. So he had to humble himself and work his way back up and pay his way through school. And he said Black people ain't humble enough to do that, right? And people look down on him. That was his thing. A lot of people look down on me. I am an engineer. In my country, I am already an engineer. But I will work hard over here in America to get back to that status. And he was basically saying we wouldn't humble ourselves to do so. So there's always been division between, and this is what Orlando's statement. Yeah, there's an issue because we're saying foundational Black Americans, and we don't consider you, if you're not a descendant of this country, multi-generational descendant of this country, in particular, the descendant of slaves in this country, we don't believe you're one of us in terms of lineage. It doesn't mean we hate you. It doesn't mean we feel like you're a piece of shit. But a lot of Africans take offense to that because let's be honest. If you got melanated skin, if somebody else who's melanated is telling you ain't Black, you're going to feel a certain way about it. Yeah, hey, sure. Who is you to tell me? Well, Black people only come from America. There's no such thing as an English Black person. There's no such thing as a German Black person. No, they are natives of their land. So if you go to England and you see some Black people, you say, hey, what up, brother? You say, hello, I'm from Nigeria. You're not Black. Black people only come from America, man. We only come from America. So Sharita Shaw said my accent was on point, by the way. My African accent was good. It was good. Thank you all very much.
I give you this, you just saw a kid. You just saw a
skit from Zuki about the black British actors taking black roles that black actors, American black actors, foundational black actors are not getting, and how then one of the brothers, one of these foreign brothers, he's been in a lot of movies. They had a whole podcast with the comedian, who, you know, the African comedian and a couple other Africans talking about how they're bring solidarity and how we want to work together with the American black, but there's always this rift. And so, but it was crazy how Drewski's skit sparked, again, more controversy of British blacks, you know, coming to America, you know, like, you know, Idris Elba and all the ones.
Yeah, I was going to say, you talking about Idris Elba?
Yeah, those type of actors coming and getting foundational black roles, you know, in traditional black, you know, history, foundational black history, but where are the American black actors and why are they not getting the job?
Yeah, I've seen a lot surrounding that topic. I've heard a lot of actors voice some you know, black actors voice some disgust with that. I think it was David Aiello, who actually played Martin Luther King in Selma, I believe, who was really like more vocal about like, yo,
you gotta look at. I mean, Kev, you gotta look at who runs the entertainment business. I mean, shit. Yeah. At the end of the day, they can pay them nothing. You know what I'm saying? That just goes back to what I was talking about. You know, am I going to pay this guy $1 million, $2 million?
Kev, where are our ancestors that would tell you, hey, guess what, guys complaining about not getting roles? Start your own companies. Yeah, what the fuck, bro? Like, this shit drives me wild. Start your own company.
Why wasn't somebody at the BET Awards this past weekend with all of this black glamour and all of this glitz? Why wasn't somebody there saying, hey, yo, I want to give everybody a chance to invest in starting our own studio. Now, you can talk all the shit you want about Tyler Perry, right? You can say what you want about Tyler Perry.
And hires all of us.
But he went and built his own shit, right?
Yeah.
And so more of us need to take a page out of his book.
And he'll lend you money too if you got a good idea, by the way.
So when it comes times for the Oscars, now we're gonna get back to this. Oh, ain't no black movies, ain't no black actors being nominated. Why do you care? Right? Like, why if you
yes.
Why do you care? You're like if black people say, look, we gave you a BET award, which what more your ass won't, like, but we want to be a part of what they do. That has always been the downfall of the negative part of integration. And I'm so surprised that we didn't see this a long time ago.
Malcolm did talk about that shit.
Oh yeah, the Nation and Malcolm and you know,
talked about that. Yeah.
But once again, when you get who that nigga on that nag, when Malcolm rides up, right? Steven is saying, who's that nigga on that nag, right? Like, so it's one of those things where as soon as we get to talking, because I feel like that conversation about delineation was one that we as black people should have felt great about. Because it's giving us the credit that nobody else wants to give us, right? Like it's always amazing to me when a racist white person says, go back to your country. Go back where you came from. Me go back where I came from.
From Memphis, bitch.
Right. Did you say you was Polish? If you don't get your ass on a boat, like, you can't tell nobody go back where they came from. So I thought that would be something great, but once again, it was just a nigga on the nag. So, you know, Earl's in the chat room saying, because we don't educate ourselves on all levels and stop saying things like fuck them kids. Yeah. And Brendan Hayes, you're right. Godfrey is very interesting. His perspective on being a Nigerian American, I always value it because I think he keeps it real about the shit. So I like Godfrey's perspective on it. Sharita said, just a pass thought from earlier, the 14th Amendment protect FBA from ever being deported. When people make the comment like they for y'all next, like they after us next, no the hell they are not. I don't think there's anything that can protect us from whatever they want to do, meaning the powers that be. 14th Amendment, whatever amendment. The only amendment that's going to ever help us prevent them from doing anything to us that they want to is the Second Amendment. And so, you know, the right to bear arms, like, you know, be about it or be without it. That's why I always say, when I was reading about the riots in St. Louis, I believe in 1919, I was reading about that earlier. And they were saying that, you know, that because of some building pressure, some white dudes came through and shot up into some homes in the black neighborhood. Well, then another car came with some white dudes in it. So the people in the neighborhood thought, okay, they coming back to do it again. So they opened fire on the car and didn't know it was 2 police officers and killed 2 police officers. That set off this tremendous riot where up to 200 people were murdered in East St. Louis. And so there's so many of these incidents that happen in which I just wish, and I hate to come from this perspective, but I wish they had more guns. I wish we as a people had more guns because
they needed them. Shit.
When they come and try to overrun the community, we should be responding in kind. That's not encouraging any kind of violence on anybody. That's the ultimate definition of stand your ground, right? Like, oh, y'all gonna come burn our shit down? No. Get your ass back in your pickup truck. Like I just like you can come and burn a cross back in the days in the South. They can pull up in your yard 20, 30 deep, burn a cross, threaten you, set your house on fire. You in there with all your kids and everything, and you can't do shit, but you hunt for your food. So you gotta have a shotgun or something. I mean, I'm just saying sometimes you gotta take a few with you. That's all.
Yeah, I agree. You know what I noticed though, man? I heard this. My grandfather used to always talk about this shit when he talked about economics. He always said race is a conversation or a distraction for poor people. That's all it is. Like motherfuckers that try to make you focus on hating other motherfuckers, focus on hating all the dumb shit and get your money. Because when you get into a point where you got enough money, then these motherfuckers, it's not about respecting you or not. Then you could do shit for your community. Then my grandfather started hiring motherfuckers to do shit for him. You know what I'm saying? That look like him. I hate all this dumb shit, bro, because it's very simple. That like I remember I heard Taraji Henson say some shit about, oh, nobody hiring us or whatever, this and this and this. Fucking hire yourself, man. It's to a point to where look at all the shit that they stripping from us.
Oprah sitting on a couple billion. Why is there no studio dedicated to black women? Like once again,
and Oprah shit on her but Oprah sold her soul. She is not one of us.
Nope.
I ain't paid attention to her in years. I don't even know what she on.
If you ain't got no money, if you ain't got no money, you can't make no money. You know, you can say, why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? But where we gonna get the money from? If they're not giving us loans, if our credit ain't good, like where we gonna get the money from?
Shit, let's go.
We gotta collectively pull together.
Twos and fews end up to something, right? Like so, you know, and once again, it's just me floating through the pod verse, listening again because I read this book years ago when I first got in grad school. The first book I read was the story of John H. Johnson, who is the proprietor of Ebony magazine, right?
Man, he a beast.
Here's a dude that comes from Arkansas, poor from Arkansas,
zero,
nothing, right? Moves to Chicago, manages to go to high school, graduate from high school, go to college, get a degree. He's selling insurance at the time for the black insurance company because that's the only way a black person could get life insurance was through the black life insurance company.
Didn't he work for A.G. Gasson?
I thought it was global.
I'm not sure. I was just wondering because I know he used to have an insurance company too. He had another one that had tons.
He might have been the owner. But I know Chicago was the place where, especially back then, was like the center of the black business universe. And so John Johnson had nothing. But what he noticed was because his job at the insurance company was to go and look in magazines to find places where you could potentially put ads to appeal to black people. So he started reading all of the magazines. And so what he said was, there's no black magazine. There's no representation for us. His mother put her furniture up to start Ebony magazine. At their peak, they were generating $250 million in revenue.
That's wild.
From a $500 loan. Okay. Now, but it takes a lot of patience. He had to work, and build.
It wasn't easy, he said. I watched an interview with him actually recently. He was getting interviewed by the white boy from the School of Hard Knocks, you know, where he come up to people and like, sir, how did you make your millions of dollars? Can I talk to you for a minute? He talked to him, bro. And dude broke it down. He was like, man, you got to be consistent. Just like you said, you have to have patience. Period.
Well, I mean, a lot of us, let's come on. Like we want instant gratification. Like a lot of black people, they want things to happen fast. And economic empowerment is not an overnight thing. Like we want scholarships. We want the ghetto scholarship.
It don't
right?
work like that.
It doesn't work like that. So if you are poor, look at your money and start to think about what am I doing with my money? Are you saving anything? What are you purchasing? What are most of your purchases go? The luxury items you don't necessarily need because you don't have a whole lot of money. Why you got $400, $500 Jordans or $2,000 purses? Like, why? You don't need that, but you go to the club, you buy a bottle for $200 with some sparklers on it. You know what I mean? Like, we do a lot of stuff. It's just disposable income that really, and then once you do save some money, you say, okay, I got a pretty good nest egg saved up. Then it comes to networking with other people who have done the same thing to say, let's invest. There's nothing wrong.
How did you do it? Or how did you do that, sir?
Investment. So, economic empowerment, I would say is my father used to tell me, work money is slow money, but it's for show money and it's your money. Right? Like, so sometimes you might not be able to get it overnight, but if you be patient, you'll get it. Sharita said that Drewski skit with the British portraying black actors was funny as fuck. Drewski skit being Joe Jackson is having me laughing day after day.
Yeah, right? It's something wrong with Mr. Drewski. I saw that and just dropped my fucking phone. I was like, this nigga is a wild boy. I love dude. He's so talented, man. He just keep going better and better.
I grew up in the 80s, man. We got our ass whooped. I don't know about other people. Like, I don't know why this is a revelation. Joe Jackson might have been related to me because
Joe Jackson normal as hell.
Every auntie, uncle, cousin that I had got their ass whooped or whooped their kids' asses. Like, I don't know nobody who didn't get a whooping, and we didn't get spankings. We got
he drank, he cheated on his wife, and he whooped his kid's ass. That sounds normal. Like half the motherfuckers that's married to me. Shit.
I believe Joe gets too much. I believe Joe gets they talk down on Joe too bad, man.
He's an easy target because he didn't sing and he didn't dance and he didn't do well in interviews. He was easy to go after. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't no internet then like that. So they're like,
Joe had a curl and a snarl. Right, like so
he looked like the scar from the Lion King.
He was so scared of Joe. Sometimes he used to throw up. I think I didn't want my mom. I was scared of my mama at one point. I knew she loved me, but I didn't want her to whoop my ass because she was the Bruce Lee of whooping ass. Like, I knew she would beat the shit out of you. But I was kind of scared. I don't know that I ever threw up, but I would just be like, man, I don't want to piss her off. But like I said, if you was black growing up during the time we grew up, you got your ass whooped. That's just what it was.
Yes, your ass whooped. That's how I got so good at football. I learned how to dodge that motherfucking belt.
Yeah. My threshold for pain was so great because I've been getting hit with that goddamn.
He said my threshold for pain.
I ain't worried about no motherfucker running into me. I grew up laying across a bed, been getting hit on my ass with an extension cord. This shit, I'm
fighting, getting my ass whooped.
Sharita said, "Well, give me one of your guns, goddamn it."
You might shoot somebody, Sharita.
Right. And they like members of my family anyway, so it's my babies. I can't do that. They're all adopted children.
The worst thing they whooping your ass and they telling you to shut up. I'm like, how the hell I'm supposed to not?
or the fact that if you don't cry, they say, "Oh, you ain't gonna cry. How I'm gonna give you something to cry about?" Well, ain't that what you're doing? You gotta make up your mind.
Was contradictory as hell. Shut the fuck up.
Nah. She said no more about that. Work money is for sure money. Jobs are gone. Well,
no, that's where some politics do come into play, as far as with higher taxation and inflation. Yes, I can see some of that.
One thing that you're gonna have to do in this life
is make money.
Is work. You're gonna have to work, and if one job play out, you're gonna have to find another one. So I had millions of jobs, and I done been laid off some. Some of them I got fired from. Some of them I quit. But the one thing that didn't happen was I got home and I was like, well, shit, I don't got to work no more anyways. You're going to have to work.
Or somebody got to give you something either. And I think that's what some of us are suffering from. They feel entitled when they're at their job. Oh, they can't do this to me. They can do whatever the fuck they want to do to you. You don't own the company. You know what I'm saying?
Now,
Spend that shit. Spend that shit.
I wanted to get your opinion on that. Let me finish with my chat.
I knew you was going to.
Mama Jenkins said, or a razor strap. She said, we got our ass whooped. No telling why they beating your ass.
Something your cousin did or your brother did.
My mother was good about explaining to you why you was about to get your ass whooped. So that's one thing.
Talking in class too much.
No, before she even swings, she gonna see you got to lay down, cross the bed. She gonna say, how many times I done told you? you know, that this so and so and so. But no, you gonna do it anyways. You gonna do it your way. Well, I'm gonna beat your ass, and then you got your ass whooped, and that was that. You knew why you was getting your ass whooped because you broke the rules. She said they gotta hire you first. Trust me, these motherfuckers hiring their kids now.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's one of the benefits, right? But I mean, I'm gonna say that this job's out here, but they hard as fuck to find, especially the ones that pay well. But you know, it's just a process. It's the process. It's a necessary evil. What we got to do. Now, earlier, Ian, before you came, we were talking about India Irie being very critical of Young Miami and her song "Spin That" because she said she's finally figured out that not all of us want to be free.
She got the right to have an opinion. Though.
What bubble is she living in, man?
She does.
I think she got the right to have an opinion.
She does have the right to have an opinion, but
yes.
I mean, I like
why
this is every time somebody comes out with a song that somebody else don't agree with, and it's our culture specifically.
They hated WAP.
Well, all of that. I mean, you think about how many songs over the years that the black community has been, you know. I mean, I remember Reverend Calvin Butts and C. Dolores Tucker rolling over CDs on TV and shit for the rappers and shit. And I remember, I think it was one of the movies. It was NWA when they was rolling over the CDs, and Dre looked at Easy and said, "Don't that shit piss you off?" And Easy said, "No, hell, they had to buy one."
Yeah. He was a businessman. He didn't give a fuck. It was advertisement for them. It really
so all of this attention that she's giving Young Miami is just going to contribute to her selling more records. I feel like if India Irie, the positive person that she is, and she wanted to make a point, she'd just go and make her some positive music, and have it serve as a counter to what Young Miami's doing.
Just mute that shit. Mute that shit if you don't fucking like it. You know what I'm saying? What is she talking about? I'm not mad at her because I agree, but at the same time, she never said boycott. That never came out of her mouth. That was somebody else that said that. She never said that, by the way. But I mean, if you want to not support it, I understand. It's shit I don't support. I won't watch like motherfuckers that support Trump. I don't fuck with them. I won't watch fucking Kevin Hart knowing that he had a roast. It was cool to make fun of George Floyd. And then when they had Trump jokes about him and his whore ass prostitute escorting pornographic punk ass Epstein getting fucked by a wife. Thank you. And they didn't say nothing about that. Hey man, this kind of stuff make me mad. Kev know how to push my buttons because like about the India Irie stuff, I'm like, man, why do you care? And this whole thing about all these black people that support a motherfucker that is actively going through the processes of removing people that look like you from government, unless you can help them get votes, and going through the fucking FBI and all this kind of shit and firing black people. That's cool. You want to support that? That's fine. Do what you do. But at the end of the day, man, it's like you said, first, I don't understand how anybody that's black and born in America can have a problem with FBAs. I don't understand how people are fucking complaining about not having fucking roles in movies and all this shit. Start your own companies. 50 Cent about to do some shit with Donald Trump Jr. Don't fuck with him. Delete his music at this point. If you know what I'm saying, you want to make a point, fuck the nigga then. And I'm with you. I don't like it either. People like, look, see, Trump must be okay, or his son, because 50 Cent doing a song with him, right? You want to vote for the next Republican, right? No, I don't.
Listen, I haven't listened to a Nelly song. If it comes on the radio,
me neither.
I haven't listened to a Nelly song since him and Snoop performed for
at the Crypto Ball.
I haven't.
Fuck them.
You know, and I'm about an inch away from if Snoop wasn't on some of the most classic shit ever, I probably wouldn't listen to him either. But
couldn't avoid it then. Yeah, fuck him.
Some shit with Snoop's on. I'm like, I can't. You got to hear that. You got to listen to that.
And I love 50 for real. I'm a huge 50 supporter. I love Power and all that. When I seen that shit, I ain't watched the last episode of Power. Fuck all of his shows. I ain't with it, bro. I can live the rest of my life and never see Kevin Hart make another average ass movie. I can go through the rest of my life and never see Ghost again. I don't give a fuck. Whatever, man.
She said nepotism is a motherfucker.
Yeah, it is.
Walker Jones, she said these motherfuckers think they can tell you what to do, then get mad when they get fired for fucking shit up.
That's true too, actually. Very true.
And then Hayes says Snoop. Who is this? He's saying you said CD. What I don't know. I don't know what that means. I think he's talking about the fact that they were rolling over CDs with the steam.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, tapes and CDs and records, all kind of shit.
This is. Let me get this out, y'all.
Comment of the thread. Comment of the thread. What Earl just said. That's how black people used to think, bro.
There's no more on the job. This is Mama Jenkins. She said there's no more on the job training. When we got hired, someone that worked there trained you, or you went to class and learned the job. This is no more jobs like that, especially in the city.
Earl said 5 people can open up a store for us. He's absolutely right. That's what they used to do, bro. We had whole communities where the black person had the corner store. Even I lived on 28th and Meineke most of my teenage life. AJ had the store on the corner. You know what I'm saying? And it was him and his brother. I knew they used to do whatever they did. I'm not speaking on it. I wasn't there. But we went to that corner store and we didn't go to the gas station all the time because we knew that we wanted to support him. And he put back into the community. He bought jerseys for basketball players. He supported the school up the street. He donated. That's what you were talking about, how cats don't be doing that. Dude, cats going to have to stop making excuses because they satisfy the people that make them. They're not making excuses.
She said, old hoe behavior is becoming an epidemic. Okay, what's old hoe behavior? Somebody tell me what that is. She said, I've been skipping comments. Yeah, believe it or not, I can't read every comment all the time that comes through because it's like, especially when the chat room gets to popping. Shout out to the chat room. But I tell you what, if you've ever been listening to this show and you feel like your comments weren't getting read, just call the line 262-202-5131.
That's dope too.
That's all you gotta do. And then your comments will be heard, not only read. Mama Jenkins said Earl of stores that the 5 people open will only be open on Sunday, like churches. They would close up after services.
Mama Jenkins so funny.
If you can get 5 black people to agree on enough to keep a business open,
that's another issue.
We get to arguing about some shit, man. Listen. It's hard, man. It's hard to get 5 people. It's hard to get 5 people on a forum.
Find 4 cousins.
It's hard to get 5 people on black people on the forum without an argument starting.
Yeah,
that's why I said when you go to these meetings,
you always bring that up too.
Oh man, this shit goes crazy.
It sound harsh. It sound bad.
I used to be sitting in the meetings, man.
What you talking about, Ted? We always on here. We don't argue.
Yeah, right. Remember, at one point we had Messy Monday.
I was gonna say there was a Messy Monday at one point in Warpath Wednesday.
Yo, I just remember.
For the most part, I agree with him. For the most part, we get along. When you put that bullshit, that one person,
absolutely. We're not talking about Trump.
I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. Damn it, they didn't want to call in, dude.
Well,
it don't matter, man. At the end of the day, man, like me personally, I got to the realization, man. The thing is, sometimes I think instinctually or subconsciously we try to change people's minds. And Kevin has said it before, and I took that lesson from Big Bro. You're not gonna change nobody's mind. Why am I trying to change your mind? Whatever. Believe what you want.
I ain't gotta fuck with you though. I ain't gotta fuck with you.
Exactly. I ain't gotta be disrespectful. I've been guilty of being disrespectful. Yeah. I ain't gotta do that shit. I can just leave you alone.
Yeah, what I said. I said, if my mama voted for Trump, I won't fuck with her. And I don't want to fuck with nobody that voted for Donald Trump.
I won't fuck with nobody that did. I'm with you. That still supports me.
I'm not gonna lose no sleep over that. I ain't lose no sleep over that.
That's cool, shit. We don't give a fuck. We ain't gonna lose no sleep on not fucking with you. I just, you know what I'm saying? That shit right there. Like, hey, check it out, Kev, because I was looking for a car today, right? So I called Kunis KUNES.
Hold on, let me tell my point.
What kind of car?
Okay. You do what you want to do.
I don't know. I'm trying to find a Honda.
Hold on. We can't talk over each other. Orlando is
trying to... Orlando still on the phone?
Yeah, Orlando been in the room the whole time, right? Incognito.
You stupid kid.
I don't care what can do. A grown man gonna do what you want to do, who you want to vote for. But the whole I ain't got to deal with this cousin. I'm not losing no sleep. But Captain don't want to work with me.
No, we know you ain't losing no sleep.
It's all good.
All we saying is we don't fuck with you. That's all. Ain't nothing listen. You ain't even have to respond to it.
I ain't fucking with you either, y'all. So understand that.
Yeah,
Oh, that's so
You don't even have to respond to it.
Huh?
That's all we said. We said, for the most part, we said we all, they're going to arguments right there.
Hold on, cuz. It's time to respond. You're talking.
They're going to argument right there.
You got to remember too, Dion. Like people, it's like the personality types that support Trump at this point. They're very antagonistic.
Mm-hmm.
Just ignore that shit, bro. Because
hold on.
They love to fight. They love to get angry and say shit.
Hold on. You are the same cat.
Yeah, I think that's so too.
Rocket cat, who ain't really moving nothing in the city, ain't doing nothing really for the block. But you won't tell me who I should vote for? Man, stop it.
You was a whole Democrat, though. Motherfuckers know your history. Sherman them talking about you all the time. They don't even take you seriously. On the real, they don't even take you seriously. That's what like
talking about in the forum. Yeah, I saw that.
That's like saying you was a vice lord, now you folks. People ain't taking you seriously, man. You was a whole Democrat, and you ran for plenty offices and ain't won none of them motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? So ain't nobody take you seriously, man.
Who cares? Nobody cares what Sherwood Hughes said. He's a hack, and you a hack. So who cares?
Well, why you mad? You're mad.
I'm just being clear. Let's be clear.
You're mad. You're mad.
What's wrong with Dion?
Let's be clear. You can rock what you want to rock with.
You're mad
anyway. So you do what you want to do. Who cares what
You're mad.
He's a bum, and your position's a bum. So whatever.
You're angry.
Yeah.
What kind of car were you looking to purchase? Though?
Stereotype.
Calm down. It's gonna be all right.
Let's keep the energy where it is. You hate any.
You're angry for no reason.
I hate anybody.
Don't make
you don't have a right to do what you want to do.
Don't make me clear the line. Hold on. Hold on.
Oh,
I'm serious. As this shit gets chaotic, and then it's just a bunch of rambling.
Well, they're getting loose in the mouth, Kev. Some pushback needs to be had. When cats, I don't care nobody black. I don't care what you cats think. You ain't black to me. What are you talking about?
The family reunion's back. Sarita.
I'm just. Let me read my chat room. All y'all take a deep woosah. Let me read my chat.
Read the chat room, bro.
She said, Sharita has said something about old hoes. Kerry Walker Jones said, "Hey, Sharita, not all of us old hoes give a fuck about what young bitches do." Sharita said, "Girl, I'm 45. There's seriously women out here who gets older then start attacking young women."
Oh God.
Okay.
What is this?
Hold on. Let me keep going because this is this. Kerry says, "I know exactly what you're saying. Just making a joke." And then this is Sharita saying, "Kevin Barnes family reunion back, right?" Just on the heels of motherfuckers talking about we get along. Well, we get along for the most part over here. And,
I know, right?
And it just switched.
I'm too sure. My bad.
Yeah, well, when you said that shit, I already knew what the deal was. I
was
mean,
like, "Oh shit!"
I already knew.
What kind of car was he buying anyway? I'm still wondering what kind of car he was
you
going
sit up here talking about what kind of car you buying and shit. These motherfuckers is going at it. Like I'm like,
no, I was talking about me buying a car, and then I was talking about this car dealership.
Yeah,
that they had on the news, and I guess dude that wrote nigger,
and then you start talking.
Dude that wrote nigger on the he wrote nigger on somebody's receipt or something. You know what I'm saying? So they had that.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
I did hear about that.
It's dangerous out here. So
that happens every couple years.
You deal with people out here. You know they feel the way they do, and you know how you can't change nobody's point of view.
On another level, hey man, I heard one of King Rich's people was out in Virginia, man. He was a Panther out there, and something happened in one of the immigrant stores, and he went out there and regulated, basically shut the motherfucker down. So I wish I could remember his name, but he came up under King Rich, so big ups to the brother.
Yes. Well, if you're talking about Mike Payne he's in Virginia, because at one point there were what he was trying to do was get the Panthers going on a national level. So there was Panthers all over the country. There was some in Madison, there was some in Illinois, and in Virginia, they stuck. Mike Payne, shout out to Mike Payne, who I spoke with many different times. And Mike Payne decided to just kind of keep continuing going. So he kind of absorbed the leadership of it. So it wouldn't surprise me if one of the Panthers out there did something, because they it was really polarized out there. They was really getting at it. So shout out to Mike Payne. This is Ernest Walker. He says Clarence Thomas Jr. is mad. And I don't know why I just read that comment. Right.
I think that's a compliment. So yeah, let's do it.
Mama Jenkins said, like these data centers are coming to low income areas, and no taxes and 10, 15 employees. In Jackson, Mississippi, they having major issues with the centers coming into their areas.
Draining the water too.
Data centers, those are Jewish. Those are going to be fucking Jewish surveillance centers. They just
and who donated to that, Ace? What politician donated all that money to AI and they draining the lakes and all that stuff? Mr. President Donald J. Trump.
Oh yeah.
Carrie says, I wish somebody would write Ninja on my car. Shit, she got that car for free. I'm not up on it. I didn't know what was happening.
That happens every few years, Kevin, where you go to a dealership at some level of racism. I see that every few years. Just dumb shit.
There's nowhere in this country you can't go without experiencing some sort of racism.
Shit wild, man. Motherfuckers is wild, bro.
You go to the park, it's a motherfucker on some bullshit. And you
like,
I say
it's odd how we rebut the whole AI revolution. You got plenty of black cats becoming AI certified. It's a whole thing.
It's not a good thing, Orlando. It's not a good thing. AI.
We talking about data centers, but there's a whole lot of black content creators, a whole lot of commercials being ran by black people who are AI certified now.
Well, you need to know how to use the tools. I'm AI certified through Google myself.
You know what's going on with them.
Though.
They surveil it. You know who Palantir is. You know who Peter Thiel is.
I give you that, but to denigrate the whole AI, in a minute, the no name one, he already cracking an AI. He already doing that stuff. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it's not a good thing. It's
not.
We already got block cameras and instead of shit that follows the phone.
So you want to see more regulations. You're not totally against AI technology. You want to see more regulations.
Man, I'm not trying to have AI skills. Well, we don't have to talk on another level, man. Because some shit I agree with, some shit I don't, because I just don't follow a party. This party, it's a Zionistic party. I'm not cool with it.
So AI for me is not about a party affiliation. I'm just asking because I'm not an AI dude.
But they supporting. He's right. They supporting this shit.
I do use AI.
Dumping money into it like a mug. They're eliminating workers. Learn the tools.
We all use chat or Claude in your professional career or whatever. So the question is, so what part of the technology? Because any technology always has some pullback. Let's just be clear. The car, the one time, like, wait a minute, we had to get off that nag. What you doing in that nag? He driving a vehicle? Who was Henry Ford? Get on the nag.
My ears are so messed up. I thought Orlando was saying who that nigga on that nag. I was about to hang up.
I think he was doing it. Really funny.
I was about to
heard it. I'm just saying, new technology. Any new technology, we get.
So, I mean, I think we could survive without AI. We
definitely could. We don't need it without it.
Yeah, but you don't want to get left behind. You don't want to be the one person that held out too long.
Exactly. That's why you got to learn to use the
tools. Is it really making us smart, or is it just making us? You know what I'm saying?
It's making us dependent. It's designed to make us smart. I don't think it's designed to make us smart. I think it's designed to make our lives easier because it's something we don't have to do. It's less shit you got to do. You just let some machine do it for you, or some computer program do it for you. So it's really you just dumbing yourself down.
I don't like generative AI. I understand it, and I don't like it because of what you just said, Kevin. It's supposed to be designed to make everything quicker. It's really designed to really cut out the workers and to make production rates go up so you can make more money. That's all it's really designed for, and I get it. I just hate that they donating so much money to it, and the Republican Party has said for years that they're about the worker, and they're not. That's why I just don't understand motherfuckers just not being more independent. And being part of parties and shit. That's how come you can't trust these motherfuckers, because they all get paid. Like, you got the politicians, you got senators and congressmen. They all getting paid. They enriching themselves. You know what I'm saying? How can you trust a motherfucker with a D or R behind their name? And they're telling you this, but they're not practicing it. They're telling you you need to be a free thinker or whatever. And this is both sides. This ain't just a Republican. You're not a free thinker. If you're following these parties, you're not a free thinker. By definition, you're not a free thinker.
Free thinker.
Mama Jenkins is asking the question. She says, "Is Big O certified with AI?" I think she's talking about
I'm
Orlando.
gonna be honest with you, Ian, dude. This ain't nothing about this country real. This whole world is this whole country. Well, it could be the world too. It's just a stage.
It's a simulation, my brother.
You can think you have. We are not free.
No,
we are not free.
Free thinkers. Get the fuck out of here. These motherfuckers ain't no free thinkers.
More regulations is the new thing with face recognition. That's Sharita. And then Kerry Walker Jones says
that China bullshit. That's part of that Chinese shit. Remember I was just talking about that?
Yes.
That's where they got it from. As a matter of fact, we don't implement that social credit score in a minute.
She says, Orlando, what's with all these black Trump supporters on the internet that think putting down the black community upgrades them somehow? I was surprised when he said that being called Clarence Thomas was a compliment, because I'm like, Clarence Thomas been a.
I'm not surprised. The thing is, though, it's so many of them that are grifters. They're going with what pays them right now.
I'm not surprised that the no-name one would say that, because he's nothing but a cheerleading, a bottom dweller anyway. But anyway, I think Clarence Thomas is a great justice. We can debate the idea of where his position was on the law. Just like any other justice, you can debate that. That's up for debate. That's what law is. But again, to say like he's the second black man on the Supreme Court, let's just give that some honor on the fact, like, we may not agree
siding with the insurrection does not make you about law and order. Period. The end.
I'm not talking to the.
I know you're not. That's okay, Orlando. I'm not going to feed into your nonsense. It's okay.
Well, let's just be clear.
Hey, just so y'all know, it's not Monday. It's Wednesday.
It is Wednesday. Monday is a few days from now. If you would like to call back, sir, on Monday at 7:30 Central Standard Time, you'll have a slot on Kevin's panel.
Oh my God! Listen, I want to say this because this is the Wednesday. This is the Wednesday show, so we won't be back until Monday. Number one, it's very hot. We have a heat wave. Y'all be careful out there. If you work outside, make sure you're getting your hydration and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
But secondly, the 4th of July is coming up, and I know that this is a very controversial thing for a lot of black people. I hope that if your family is coming and you're going to have your family with you and you get a chance to be with your family and you get to fellowship, enjoy them.
For the 4th?
Yes, enjoy them. Tell them you love them. Give them a hug. And I know a lot of times those older relatives who probably ain't got that much time left, they get to come around and see the babies. And this is times you got to cherish, man. Because
they ain't doing all that for the 4th, man. It's gonna be local family.
Hey, a lot of brothers kick it on the 4th, though.
I don't know what you won't do that. There's a lot of families where the entire family gets together for the 4th.
My family used to do
unless they got a family reunion.
My point is, before you cut me off, Dion, my point is, I'm realizing more and more and more, I am the last member of my family still alive. Both of my parents and my brother are deceased. I'm the last one from that house that's alive. My brother is just passed on Thanksgiving Day, and this is going to be my first 4th of July without him around. Now, is it about me celebrating Uncle Sam or some freedom that we never got? No. But I would be happy to have a day where my brother didn't have to work and he could pull up over here again and chill with me and we could kick it. And if they call it the 4th of July, if they call it Thanksgiving or they call it Christmas or whatever they want to call it, I don't give a shit. If you got a chance to be with your family and you have a chance to be around the people that you love, take advantage of it. Keep the personal shit to where it's supposed to be, man. And y'all have a safe holiday and enjoy yourself. I know my baby girl will be here. I ain't seen her. She been in the big city, making it on her own, right? Black Mary Tyler Moore up in Minneapolis, right? And so I'm gonna be happy to see her. And the fact that
that's where I'm headed to.
And the fact that they didn't really free us when they signed this Declaration of Independence don't mean shit to me. The reality of it is I'm gonna have both of my kids and my wife together. We all gonna be able to sit down and partake in a meal and enjoy each other's company. My daughter will be here. I don't know how long, but I know it's gonna be a lot of daddy-daughter time. She's already telling me what movies we gotta watch and go to some of our favorite restaurants. So I want all of y'all to do the same. What I wish upon all of y'all is peace and tranquility, regardless of your political party, your race, whether or not you're an FBA or not. I want everybody to be able to experience some peace and some tranquility in their lives. That's very important, right? We all have opinions. And they like armpits. They stank, but we won't admit it. But the fact of the matter is sometimes you got to know and pick and choose your battles. It ain't time for you to start a goddamn political debate at everywhere you go. You got to start some shit. Because pretty soon people ain't gonna want your ass around. Okay. So that's my main thing. And I see this right now that the LGBTQ is getting involved. Now they're saying their rights are being violated and that they feel like that under Trump, they've lost a lot of rights.
How?
Like nowadays, gay people are more empowered than they've ever been.
How?
Yeah, they want to suck some wang.
Gay is everywhere you look, right? Like I've never seen people discuss homosexuality with the openness that they do now. Like
I've never seen that.
I even look at the hip hop culture, which at one point was very anti-homosexual.
Gay rappers and shit.
You got like Jason Lee, who's like a podcaster who everybody rocks with dude. They love going on his show. He gets all the interviews. He has a very powerful media position. So I disagree with them that they're losing any of their rights. But of course, it always comes down to, well, we feel like African Americans should support us more, because if anybody understands how it feels to lose their rights, it's them. And that's why I say a lot of times they just look for reasons to bring us into shit. It's like with this immigration shit, you want to drag FBA into it. Roland Martin,
they know how smart and resourceful we are. That's why they do it.
Talking heads, Roland Martin and Stephen A. Smith and all these people who want to make the black community the villain. Like you always want to try to make us the bad guy. I'm here to tell you, one of the reasons why I call the platform Outlaw Radio is because I don't mind being labeled as a bad guy. Really doesn't bother me. Because at the end of the day, I give less and less shits about what people got to say about me or how they feel about me or how they feel about me. I'm too busy being who I am to worry about it. So I hope everybody kind of goes by that same mantra. Let me go into the chat room to clear this out before we go. Sarita Shaw said, I'm lost. Are we talking Clarence Thomas, the blues singer? That was Carter. That was
Clarence Carter.
I'd be stroking. That's Clarence Carter. No, we ain't talking about him, Sharita. Kerry Walker Jones says, Sharita Shaw, no, the coon, laughing my ass off.
I be stroking.
Earl Henny said, America is for sale. Fuck Donald Trump and his friends. Insurance is the key. Okay.
He's an idiot.
Earl Henny said, Kev, you have he said you have my vote on that one. Love my beautiful family that's here and gone. Sharita Shaw said that's from that Biden administration bullshit. I do like Jason Lee though. When you go into the gay shit and you got to be real descriptive about gay shit, I'm not feeling that. So I can't really, it is what it is.
All those Joe Biden voters, I can't stand them.
One thing about this is I feel like straight people need to be prioritized in terms of who's getting violated. So I'm a straight person, and I don't have to pretend to have any kind of gay sensibilities to make you think I'm a better person, right? So if you gay, just be gay, and you the one who made that decision. So just be gay. Like,
Kev, I hated that bullshit so much. I actually voted for that dumb motherfucker that's in the White House in 2020. I actually voted for Trump that year because I thought Biden was a garbage Klansman that gave a eulogy to a motherfucking Klan's grand dragon. That's why I voted for him, because I was just like, I didn't like him that much. And I voted for this fucking clown that had a failed administration the first time.
I voted for Sleepy Joe. Ain't
nothing wrong with you voting for him. I'm embarrassed that I voted for Trump. I should have never voted for that.
Even you know what? And this ain't just to you. This is to anybody. It's to anybody.
I should have never voted.
I vote for who I want to vote for. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. That's how I felt too.
Somebody said if I decide to vote for Trump tomorrow, which ain't gonna happen. But if I do, somebody say, Kev, I ain't fucking with you no more because you voted for Trump. I say, kick rocks. It's fine. I vote for who I want to vote for. Right. And actually, you don't even have to disclose who you vote for. It's actually private. So it is what it is, man. I said I vote for Daffy Duck before I vote for Donald Trump. So, but I don't hate nobody who does vote for Trump. That's their. I liked
Obama the first time, but I didn't like him the second time. I like Romney the second time.
Thing from it, so it's all good.
That's because of the gay thing. That's why I didn't vote for Obama the second time, because of the gay shit.
And fanboy. Just fall back, fanboy. Just fall back.
I think he's talking to you, Ian. I don't know if I don't know.
Orlando can say whatever he wants. It's okay.
I got you, Mama Jenkins. I'm gonna hit you up.
Well, she said call her in the morning. She love you, bro. She dope. I love Mama Jenkins.
Orlando said I voted. I mean, Kerry Walker said I voted for Trump the first time too.
Yeah, I don't blame anybody for the first time, but like the third time though, like this last time, he had a failed first presidency. He didn't do a lot of the shit he said he was going to do the first time. You know, and he had some successes, but it wasn't enough.
Sleepy Joe went on stage and went to sleep, right?
Hey, oh, you talking about the other night?
I don't hear nobody say, "Yo, fuck this country up."
Trump was an asshole in his first campaign before he got elected. We knew he was the same thing. He didn't change his energy at all. So I said, well, I voted for him the first time. You fucked up, right? One thing I did, I made a mistake because I didn't vote at all because I didn't want to vote for Hillary. So I'm partially.
I voted for Gary Johnson.
I might as well have voted for him because I voted for Hillary.
Who the fuck is
that? Gary Johnson was like the governor of one of the East Coast places, and he wanted to legalize marijuana, and he was a Republican at one point before he got smart and decided to go against the party.
I'm thinking you're talking about Gary George.
Oh, no, not Gary George.
Yeah, Clarence Carter and Gary George on the same show, man.
Gary George. Gary George, the dude from Milwaukee, the light-skinned dude. That was a Democrat in Milwaukee, Gary George. Ain't that one dude from Milwaukee?
He did a little time. What Young Miami say? Where all my scamming ass
niggas that.
He went to the
in that shit.
I'm trying to get my suitcase together.
Hey man,
where all my house Negroes at? No, let me
love, man. Y'all be cool. I will see y'all Monday, man. Wait, when is the 4th? When is the 4th? Tuesday?
I think it's Saturday.
Saturday.
Is it Saturday?
You gonna celebrate it and don't even know when it is?
No, I don't know. I don't know when it is. Right.
And don't have that MAGA hat on too tight, Mr. Orlando Owens.
He said, Deion said,
Y'all stupid.
Wow. I'm beginning to think you don't really believe in this holiday, Mr. Barnes. Listen, man.
He don't believe he lost either, but he's still doing what he's doing. But anyway.
I'm trying to get this bag.
Where my eating ass MAGA at?
I'm gonna wear my man bag too.
You got a man bag, but you want to make fun of me for celebrating the 4th of July, man. Come on.
Oh yeah, dog. You can't.
I've been over here dying like a motherfucker.
Hold up, we gotta talk about his bag on Monday. It's gonna get messy Monday. Go talk about Deion's bag.
That's what Young Miami talking about. She say reaching that go yard bag because I've been trying to figure out what the fuck that was.
Oh, that's what that shit is.
Yes, I don't know.
She look good though.
Hey, listen, man. It feels very good to be an outlaw, man. I don't mind being one. I know I'm the redhead stepchild of Milwaukee's black media, but I'm gonna remain that because the one thing I can't be is somebody else. And I tell anybody else the same thing. Don't be focused on trying to be somebody else. Work harder at being you. Peace and love, man. Outlaws for life, man. I'll see y'all Monday, man.
Yes, sir. Love, yeah. Yeah,